The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Well, isn't this something? A little snowstorm has turned itself loose here in town. Could be a little bit of a pain in the ass getting around. We'll be there for you until 9 this morning. After that, you're on your own. And actually, after 9 a.m., which is when we'll be jumping into our motor vehicles and heading for our homes, after 9 a.m., you all become competition.
100%.
Oh, on the way, the other drivers?
Yeah. I'm showing my support, our support for our listening audience now, but we're done at 9, and then they become competition. Because make no mistake about it, once I climb behind the wheel of my motor vehicle, I am in competition with everybody else, and I plan on winning.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of that out there. So there's going to be some folks that are going to take you up on that.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's plenty that want to play. They want to play games.
Thanks to the plow men and women out there already doing their thing. We had a few of them check in. We always appreciate that. I heard it on my way in, it wasn't bad. And I've heard it's gotten pretty bad at this point. Ashley, you said it was not good.
Yeah, it's not getting good out there. It's
good.
It's like those that kind of driving when all the snow is like flies up into the air from the ground whenever somebody like passes over, you know what I mean? So if somebody is close enough in front of you, if you don't put enough space, you can't see anything. It's like a blizzard.
I really enjoy
a spy vehicle in front of you with a smoke screen.
Yes, exactly.
Ashley, man, maybe we are related. Because I have this problem, too. I really enjoyed watching you battle your way to the proper wording. I have that same problem. Yeah, it's, very light, so it gets blown up into your grill. It wasn't that bad on my way in my personal opinion, but it's only going to get worse. What can you do?
That's what people are saying now, that certain parts of this city are pretty bad.
It's only going to get worse as more of you get up on the road and get going again.
School districts are already going to e-learning in certain parts of the state. I haven't seen any in the Twin Cities yet. I've been trying to keep up on it.
Friggin' storm couldn't wait till Friday night, Saturday, could it? Had to hit us on our last 2 days of Ultimate F-Off week.
Yeah, it's Ultimate F-Off Day Eve, and it decided to jump in here.
Son of a bitch.
Josh, so now all the kids, they don't even get a snow day. It's just e-learning?
Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's COVID, right? They kind of perfected that. They perfected the e-learning. So they're doing that now.
Oh, that's not fair. When I was in high school, we had so many snow days my senior year that we ended up adding like 8 minutes on to every day for the rest of the year.
Oh,
but I didn't mind because we had like a week off at one point.
So you had to do computer stuff?
No, we just had to stay longer at school every day because of how many snow days. Yeah.
You had to make up the days. I didn't know the rules anymore. So you're telling me, like last night, Josh, I'm watching the television news and it says Brainerd, how do you call it, public schools, closed, right, for today. You're telling me those kids can't go ice fishing and snowmobiling like they did in the old days. They got to sit in front of their computer and do e-learning?
Yeah, when you look at some of the closings.
What a drag.
They say e-learning, e-learning, e-learning.
Oh, I didn't notice that part.
Let the kids eat some chips and watch Price is Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Eat some chips and watch Price is Right.
I absolutely loved that.
Did you not go to high school? I don't think the high school kids are eating chips and watching Price is Right when they get a day off these days.
Oh,
they're getting a case of beer.
HVAC delivery Jesus said in Rogers they're playing a serious game of, is this a lane?
I love that game.
I played that game before.
It sucked at our school because we would always learn about it the day of school closing. So, like, my mom would come downstairs and be like, no school today. So that's why I was always up early.
You didn't have
Well,
the
that's how it goes, right?
Yeah. We never heard the day before.
No,
Yeah.
they're going to wait till the last second for the most part because they want to see if things change.
Yeah, so we could never, like, go out and party, really.
I miss that
Well, you weren't the
feeling.
only one. Yeah, they didn't make those, like Josh said. They waited till the last second because they didn't want you guys running around town the night prior vandalizing and making babies and whatnot.
I don't know if it's the same at your schools, but for us, we had a couple of built-in snow days. We didn't have cold days. I mean, that was new. I remember the first time my older kids had a cold day, I had to, like, really think about it. Wait, what do you mean a cold day?
Right.
It's Minnesota. We
That,
always had cold days.
It's always cold.
That didn't exist when we were in school. Cold days didn't exist.
Most of my body is frostbit from growing up waiting at the bus stop on cold days.
Now, our mothers, if I remember, Josh, our mothers probably would have pushed for that when we were kids. Both of our mothers were weather-driven, if that's a term. Both of our mothers would try to keep us home when the weather would turn sour, right? Mm-hmm. Thunderstorms.
Oh, yeah.
Cold weather.
My mom is terrified of storms.
It was so lame over at my house. Well, at least my mother tried to make it lame. Well, you're not going out tonight. There's a tornado watch. Oh, well, you're not going out tonight. It's 20 below. What are you talking about? I'm not walking to where I'm going to. So our mothers probably would have been in support of cold days when we were kids, but they didn't.
Probably.
They didn't get their way.
Yeah, I mentioned this before. I had my cousin that I lived with was older, and so I just think it was so cool hanging out with the older kids in high school. And then I was in a band my freshman year of high school, and 2 out of the 4 of us were seniors. And so they're over at my house, and I just met them, but I wanted to make a good impression. And there was a thunderstorm watch. And my mom, I mean, these guys had like facial hair, and they drove themselves.
Sexually active, probably.
And I'm trying to make a good impression, and my mom wouldn't let them leave. And I begged my mom. I mean, I begged her. I pulled her aside. I'm like, please don't do this.
If you don't let these friggin' guys leave the house.
Oh, and she wouldn't let them go.
Oh, no.
So there you go. We got a snowstorm on our hands.
Butcher Hack Jesus had to walk uphill both ways to school.
No way. So did my dad.
My uncles had to as well.
It's crazy. There's so many hills.
Yeah, that's how it was set up back in those days. All right, on the topic of snow. Snowmanning is the latest silly little trendy slang term that the young people have created.
I thought for sure this was going to be something. Wait, maybe it is. Is it something sexual?
No.
Slightly.
It sounds like it could be.
Not so much.
Yeah, not what you're thinking, but it does have to do with sexual intercourse. You thought snowmanning was going to be when you oral sex a guy and you turn upside down and then you...
No.
Right.
Snowballing, right? Isn't that what that's called?
Yes, sir.
I don't even know what that means. I've heard the term before. I don't know what snowballing is, and I don't want to know. I don't blame you for assuming this was going to be some kind of grotesque, Dirty Sanchez, one of those stupid things. It's not, but it does have something to do with sex.
When I first heard of snowballing, it made such an impression on me. I was so shocked and disgusted. Not to kink shame, but for me, that seemed pretty disgusting. It was in my vows that I said, to death do us part, sickness, all that kind of stuff. But if there's any snowballing or even a snowballing request, we're done.
I understand. That's
it.
That's crazy. I wish I didn't look it up.
Pegging, I was, so-so about.
Wrote it into your vows.
Yeah, the pegging, I thought, we'll see how it goes once the request is made.
Snowballing. Now I really don't want to know what it is.
No.
Pegging.
it's bad.
Pegging. Did I tell you this recently? I think I told you this off air, Josh. Not that long ago, me and some bros were sitting around. Somebody had a dirty picture on their telephone of a naked porn star or something, right? I don't know, dudes being dudes. Someone was like, check her out. That's how we operate, Ashley. I'm sure you're well aware.
Yep.
So someone brought out a naked picture of some porn star, and there was a conversation in there somewhere about this and that. But one dude at the table takes a look at this naked porn star, and he says, ooh, yeah. But you know what? He says, She kind of looks like the type that would want to peg you, right? And everyone at the table went, oh, right? Except for one dude, and he says, oh, well.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Try everything once.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, well, he says. Snowmanning. Again, the latest silly little trendy slang that now we have to memorize, at least for a week until the next trendy slang term comes around, and then this one will be completely forgotten. That's how it works these days. Snowmanning. Oh, let me tell you all about it. The definition is it's when folks casually bump during the holidays out of loneliness, it says here, out of loneliness. But then the relationship abruptly ends once the holiday spirit is gone, and the problem is a lot of unwanted STIs, STDs. Give me, Josh, do you have a quick list of the wanted STDs and STIs?
Boy, you know, that's a great question. I'm going to say herpes because it proves you've been there. And it's not, you know, herpes comes and goes.
You can keep it at bay if you take some medication.
If somebody ever doubts it, you got to flare up and go, no. You don't get these by not having sex, bro.
That is a preferred, that is a wanted STD, you're saying.
I mean, you're a little itchy and maybe leaky, however often it happens.
Yeah, just let them know you're there.
It's certainly unpleasant.
It is unpleasant.
But, you know, it comes and goes.
It's horrible looking.
Yeah, I've actually never seen herpes.
But it's proof that you got something done. Okay, snowmanning. You hook up, you bump. Specifically during the holiday season, out of loneliness. The negative side, you might dump or have an STD dumped upon you. Syphilis, they mention herpes, and gonorrhea. And at least this article tries to lead me to believe that doctors are concerned about this. I don't think doctors really give a rat's ass.
No.
All these articles make it seem like all of our neighborhood doctors are on the front lines of, well, folks, don't be getting that gonorrhea. They don't care.
They're getting paid the same no matter what.
Yeah, they'd rather see you more.
You know, when you fill out that survey, they do ask you about what's going on sexually. You guys, it's just pretty common, right? It's the same type of thing. At least every time I've been to the doctor in the last few years, they're like, are you having sex? And
they do ask us that question.
Yeah, and then is it a regular partner or what's going on? But I've never had a doctor say, hey, snowmanning, you familiar with this? It's really been bugging me lately. I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, you've probably, and I know I've never had a doctor say anything to me about rubbers or anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's weird. Now that you brought that up, that's kind of, I guess, surprising in a way because, you know, if you've had like a UTI or something, they obviously want to check to make sure you don't have any weird STD. And so I've had those like pee cups. I had to, you know, do all that for them, but they've never told me about like the harms of getting an STD or, you know, kind of like how health class does.
Right.
Yeah, I've never had a doctor say anything about any of that.
These articles, yeah, they always try to lead us to believe that our neighborhood doctors are drawing a line in the sand, and they don't friggin'. But that's the gimmick. You start folding somebody in half for the holiday season. And then the both of you, you know, once New Year's Day comes around, I'm going to move on. That's old news, right?
See you later.
But maybe you've passed an awful STD onto someone, or maybe they've passed one on to you. And this seems really odd and kind of overly detailed, which I think proves that all these different trendy terms, they're just kind of created out of nowhere. You didn't need me to tell you that. But here's the other element, apparently, is holiday hookups, they say, are often one-night stands, and people don't even exchange their contact details. So the extra danger is then I've passed herpes on to Josh, and he doesn't even have my phone number, or I don't even have his. So I can't tell you, or you can't tell, hey, look, dude, I think you have herpes. And then you go on to have sex with someone else in the new year, and the herpes keep getting passed on. You see, that's just an odd little detail. You know, a lot of cases, folks don't even exchange phone numbers, and that's the real concern.
If somebody
Get
gave
to know
me
your partner.
If somebody gave me herpes, I'm going to lose their phone number. That's
Right,
it.
right.
And I think, well, I suppose that is one of those things you could give to someone without knowing you have it, right? Some folks never get the flare-up. They just-
Absolutely.
They
Yeah,
get
some
the herpes,
folks.
they transfer it. It's his and herpes now. Everybody's got herpes.
So this is just silliness. It's just all silliness. Here is some good news. What's it say? STD. When did they change it over to STI? What?
I always hear both.
I hear both.
What's the I stand for?
Infection.
Infection. Okay. STDs, STIs are actually, the rates are dropping here in the United States of America.
That's good.
Yeah.
Unless it means that less people are having sex, then that's bad.
That concerns you?
Yeah.
Really, I'm fine with whatever's going on.
I couldn't give a rat's ass if the rest of you are having sex.
I think people as a whole are happier when they're getting laid. So I'd rather
Yeah.
have the people that are around me getting laid.
More happy people
Yep.
around you?
As a whole. I get it, Ashley. You really think that? I mean, I know people joke about that, but
Do I really think what?
I know some people that aren't. They're just, for whatever reason, I don't know, they're not getting it one way or the other, and they don't seem to be crabby grumps.
I think if you're not having sex and it alters your mood and you come to work grumpy, that proves that you have not matured yet. If you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's plenty of people out there who aren't having sex, and they can still have a nice, happy attitude and be kind to people. Ashley, we're not trying to dump all over your point. You think that people who have sex are happier people, and you're probably right. We're just saying, you don't necessarily need to be getting laid to be a happy and normal person.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I know there's a licensed therapist. Jesus, we've got a couple therapists out there. If somebody's cranky, do you ask? Well, are you getting any? Have you considered maybe? Can I prescribe you 2 humps and BJ or whatever they?
Yeah,
do?
I mean, we all know a few elderly people. They sure are pleasant as all hell. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say all of them. I know some.
But yeah, half and half. But I'm sure the ones that aren't getting any, it's not. Maybe that's not the reason.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like if you're used to regular action and then all of a sudden that stops happening for a little while, maybe it affects your mood.
Definitely,
Maybe
yeah.
that's. I mean,
I'll go along with that.
You're speaking from your experience, so you've known people that have been that way. Ashley, I guess I haven't, thankfully. I mean, I've known some grumpy people, but what a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you're grumpy, people probably aren't going to be too interested in you.
Probably right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who drags their personal problems into a social situation and makes it difficult on everybody else, no matter what the reason, I say F them. We've had this conversation. The folks that drag their personal problems into work or drag their personal problems out to the bar and take it out on everybody else. Those are not people that I care to spend time
Why are
with.
you crying at the bar?
Right.
I think some people, if they don't have something to complain about, they've got nothing to say. And maybe they just need watch a YouTube video on how to be social. Maybe they just don't know what else to do other than have a story about something that sucks or how stupid someone else is.
You give great advice. You do, Cubby.
Well, I don't know about that.
I watched a YouTube video last night.
What's that? Can I guess it was like a concert from 1987?
No, it was more like something you would watch.
Was it how to change a spark plug in a lawnmower?
You're close enough. What it was is I had this television hanging from an arm that you hook up to the wall. What's a grown person's way to say that?
Yeah, like a
mount.
monitor arm, but TV.
A mount.
Mount.
So thanks, Walt.
Yes, I had a television on a mount, right? Up in the air there, up in the corner. I bolted it into the wall, that whole spiel. But I did that 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. Last night, it came time to take it off the mount, and I had no idea how to do it. I didn't remember how I put it on. It was a long time ago. So
I'm surprised you didn't know how to do that. Seems like something you'd pick up pretty easy.
I couldn't remember, so I'm like, well, do I
take some screws out?
Do I turn this? There was a few Allen wrench setups and a what do you call that? A Phillips.
Sometimes they've got like quick releases on those. Like I know mine has a quick release.
Couldn't remember at all. And then I went on YouTube, and there was a video of some dude who said, yeah, you got to do this and this. So that's what I did. And I got it done.
The people
I watched
that
some
make
YouTube
those...
last night, too.
Oh, what did you watch?
Nothing except, I don't even want to say you make fun of me. I watched the 2024 gift guide for audio producers to see if there's anything I'd be interested in.
Oh, that's
nice.
kind of fun.
I already bought one of them.
All right. What a great crowd we got out there. Let me wrap this up. Let's go back to snow manning, which is this and that. If you just tuned in, I'm not going to cover it again because it's stupid. But I will tell you, there are a couple more because they pop up every 20 minutes. A new trendy slang term. Specifically, in this case, a new trendy dating term.
There's always so many of these, right?
It's obnoxious.
Who comes up with them? Is there like a department?
19-year-olds.
Yeah, just a bunch of Twitter users usually.
19-year-olds on Twitter. Okay. Oh, yeah. Snow manning isn't the only one that recently popped up. One is sledging. Sledging.
Now, that one seems kind of cruel.
Okay, what it says here, you drag someone through the holidays? Wait a minute. Are they using another term that I'm not familiar with? Dragging someone through the holidays?
Well, you like leading them on.
Oh, yeah. Leading them on. Okay. Leading someone on through the holidays, and then you dump them after New Year's Day.
How weird.
That's so mean.
But I don't even understand.
That sounds the same as snow manning.
Is that like a ploy, like to get a lot of gifts and stuff,
Yeah,
or just
yeah,
have somebody to hang out with, or have somebody to bone during the holiday season? Then you're like, all right, I'm good.
Not show up to holiday gatherings alone.
Yep.
That's a big one.
I mean, has that ever concerned anyone here?
Never once.
Maybe, maybe if you have a family that gives you all kinds of pressure. I've never had that.
Never cared at all about, do I have a date for this holiday event? I can't imagine.
My parents have never pressured me, but I imagine there's some people out there that, have never had a significant other, and they're like in their late 20s or their 30s, and mom is like, there's still nobody still.
Yeah, I'm sure there's folks that do get pressured like crazy.
Those people.
Or get pressured to have kids if they're married, that kind of thing.
Take a break.
I would like it better not having someone during the holidays so you don't have to go to their stuff too.
Right.
Yeah, their stuff
Good
sucks.
call.
If you think your stuff sucks,
Oh, boy.
go to their
stuff.
It's even worse because you don't know anybody at their stuff. And they all think they're so funny, don't they?
Yeah.
They think they're funny. At their events, they think they're funny.
Or like they play a game slightly different than your family or something. They're like, oh, this is so much better. No, it's not. It's the same game.
I have felt for, like, my older kids, their significant others, when they come to family events. I've always been very hospitable and understanding that they're probably miserable.
Right.
I wouldn't want to go.
They don't want to be there. You recognize that.
I totally understand.
All right. So some of these stupid dating terms, my God, they're all so similar. See, to me, snow manning sounds way too similar to sledging, but yet they're two separate. Okay. One more note on sledging. Again, so you date someone through the holidays and you dump their sad ass after New Year's Day. There's one more element here to what sledging is all about, and I don't even know if I want to say it. Do you think there's any kids listening right now, Josh?
There could be.
But I'm gonna go ahead anyway.
And especially for podcasters.
Okay. I'm going to take a chance.
Turn down the radio for a second if you got a kid.
If you've got a kid, I hate to tell you this, but dating experts call sledging, they call it toxic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
sorry about that if you had young kids. You didn't need to hear that, especially at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I thought it was important to throw it in there.
Maybe it's time they knew what it was anyway.
They use the word toxic, which you never hear. That's why I wanted to warn people, because it's shocking to hear a word like that. You never hear people say that.
I know, I understand.
All right, one more.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Do you know what winter coating is, Josh?
I know what winter coating
It
is.
says it's another term for snowballing.
Stephen Colbert talked about all these.
That thing where you have a holiday fling and then the magic wears off and the relationship kind of melts away, that's being called snowmanning. Yeah. Not to be confused with Snow Manning, which is the musical duo made up of quarterback Peyton Manning and Canadian reggae rapper Snow. One dating expert, a job that is very real, explained snowmanning this way. Once the drinks stop flowing and the decorations come down, sometimes that initial burst of chemistry wears off. In other wintry dating trends, there's supposedly something called sledging, which is when you drag someone along through the holidays with the intention of dumping them. There's also winter coating, in which people reach out to old flames in the winter, much like they would an old coat. The best is when you reach inside your old lover and find a $20 bill.
Ashley, you just found a $5 bill the other day.
Heck yeah, I did. And a winter jacket I haven't used obviously all summer, so that was
You were
nice.
very pumped.
It's
Oh, I
tough.
love that.
It's tough to keep up with all this stuff, and like I said, a lot of it is so similar. But that dude, who was that talking?
Stephen Colbert.
He screwed up. He brought up Snow, the rapper. Now it's all I'm going to want to talk about for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, that's primarily why I played it. I know how much you like Snow.
Dude.
I never knew he was... I've only heard the one song, right?
That dude was all over music television for about 3 or 4 months with that stinking song, Infamer. And me and Big Al, we were all over it. Big Al and I were living together at the time. And we would, I don't know if you remember this, Josh, but because of the guy's delivery, with that, it's hard to, like you said, you can't follow. The music video had the words, what's the word, closed captioning kind of a thing, right?
Yep. Genius.
The music video had the words rolling underneath, at the bottom of your television, and the little bouncing ball.
Oh, yeah. Like Mickey used to do.
I
So
still
you
love those on the cartoons as a kid.
So I did. Al and I would try to rap along with Snow when the video would come on television, and we would try our best, but usually fall short. I do remember that he said, "One got a rocket a microphone, rocket steady. Yes, me article down." I lost it. One got a rocket a microphone, rocket steady. Yo, said Daddy me Snow, I am the article Don. That much I remember.
I remember his album was called 12 Inches of Snow.
That's right. It was called 12 Inches of Snow.
That's good.
And there's no friggin' way there was actually 12 inches of damn snow.
No way.
No, there just wasn't.
There's not even 4 inches of Josh. How's there 12 inches of snow?
One of the rocket the microphone, rocket steady. See, I had to get into character. Me and Big Al. A couple of 20-year-old schmucks sitting on my dad's couch.
How did he differentiate himself from all the other Canadian rappers back then? I mean, just to stand out in that crowd.
It was a battle.
Impressive.
It was a battle. Yeah, that Colbert dude screwed up. He shouldn't have brought up Snow, because that's all I'm going to be doing all morning long. What a terrific crowd you are. Later on this morning, we're expecting to hear from Randy Shaver. And we're not expecting to hear from anybody else, because if the roads get bad enough, everybody should stay home. Stay home. Maybe some of you lucky pricks aren't even working today because you already got that holiday vacation happening. Ooh, we're only... I consider this show over. We've only got 1 day left. 1 day left, and then we gone, Cubby.
That's it for
Josh
a week.
and I are out of here. You guys are on your own. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
My World with Jeff Jarrett takes wrestling fans behind the scenes, along with King of the Mountain, Conrad Thompson.
I wanted to ask you about what you know, if anything, on the new WWE ID program, where they're apparently going to be working with some independent wrestlers.
My encouragement to any independent wrestler out there, build your value and then understand your value, and then you create your own leverage. There's no substitute for hard work and getting over.
My World with Jeff Jarrett, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We don't need to pay that guy.
No, you nailed it.
Yeah.
But you got to add like some. The only thing he had that you didn't was a delay effect.
Yeah, some echo or something in
Yeah,
the
you
back.
got to put a little echo in there. Try that.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Show. You got to add that.
Oh, that? I didn't know what you guys...
Yeah.
I don't know the industry terms.
And the big, like, exploding noises, too.
Okay, now when someone says explodey noises, I get that.
You know what that is.
But when you say reverb, I don't know it. All right. Got a text message here from Dairy Feeding Jesus this morning. Most folks are texting about the weather. I'm driving this way. I'm driving that way. It sucks. Be careful. Appreciate all that.
Yeah, another thanks to the plow folks out there doing what you do.
You know what? They go out and they get it done.
Yeah.
Dairy
Long hours, working their ass off.
Mountain Dew and sunflower seeds.
Yeah, that's what we hear, right?
Yeah.
That's the fuel.
Dairy Feeding Jesus, he doesn't got to worry about driving anywhere because he's squeezing teeth this morning. He says, I'm out feeding the Holsteins, he says. And he's got a level 8 overhang.
Ooh. I bet that just steams once he squeezes that out there on a day like today.
He's got a level 8 overhang ski.
Ouch.
Due to a bowling tournament last night. But he texted in to say, tomorrow will probably be a repeat because tonight, the House Contracting Rollers are going up against another team who I guess call themselves Team Tapped. Big bowling matchup tonight. The House Contracting Rollers against Tapped at the Princeton Lanes.
Oh boy.
What's the line? Who's your money on?
You can throw the record books out the window and these two get together.
No question. I don't know what club he's on. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to assume that the first mentioned club, the House Contracting Rollers.
That'd be my guess.
I don't know who to pick. But it's exciting. He says he's hurting now, but it ain't going to be jack squat compared to tomorrow morning. It's going to be even worse tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Because tonight at the Princeton Lanes, baby. Come on.
That's fun.
It's going down.
Where can I buy my ticket?
Yeah, please let us know who wins for those of us that aren't going to be able to make it to Princeton Lanes tonight.
I would like to know.
Definitely.
I think after all this, after 3 minutes of conversation, I guarantee he texts us tomorrow and names us a winner. All right.
Assuming he's awake. It sounds like it's going to be a rough morning. Maybe schedule a text or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, text us at 3 in the morning when you go to bed so that we can come to the station and see it right away.
All right, then. Let's try this stupid news. The holiday season is a perverse, very sexual time for some of us. And we've had these conversations a little bit over the last couple of weeks. There are apparently plenty of folks out there where the holiday vibe sends them into a sexual tizzy, where they're just tearing at their partner's gear like they're days away from being sent off to prison. So the more folding that we do, I guess it only stands to reason that there would be an uptick in sexual accidents. And I don't mean hilarious, unplanned pregnancies. I'm talking about broken peckers and such. And if you go by what people are looking up on that Google, then it's a hell of an uptick. It says here now, Google searches for, quote, penile fracture go up 234% over the holiday damned season.
Oh, that's a huge jump.
Now, there was a lot of homework done here on the subject. And what they found out is that the chances of a feller mangling his wad rises significantly between rises significantly between December 24th and December 26th, specifically. That window of 3 days. If you're going to hurt yourself down there, it's going to happen between December 24th and December 26th. Especially now, middle-aged, beer-bellied types. If you're a little over the damn hill, you're the dude who's going to accidentally tear it off while wrestling the wife around the bedroom like it's 1991 all over again. Specifically, middle-aged, beer-bellied, barreled-assed men. Now, here's the information that you likely already know, but I'm going to go ahead anyway in case you just woke up from a coma. Penile fractures usually occur during, quote, wild sex. Most penises give way while the wife is up on top skis. The story talks about the audible crack that happens when a pecker dies, followed by a lot of pain. They mention the eggplant effect. After your rod dies on you, it takes on the shape, the color, and the taste of a damned eggplant.
The taste.
They mention surgery. They mention weeks of recovery. They mention the possibility of permanent curvature. They mention a lifetime of painful erections. I wanted to blow through that stuff as quickly as possible because I know you've heard it a million times.
Right. But I don't know that I could ever say, well, this time of year is when you're a little more sexually active. It's to me, it's kind of strange. Maybe just because you got time off, you're
kind of locked up in the house from the snowstorm or something.
Yeah, I'm definitely more in the mood in the winter because it's not hot. I hate being hot. And also, Christmas lights put me in the mood. Like if you have Christmas lights in your bedroom, and it kind of sets the vibe.
I know the article mentioned like alcohol and you're in a festive mood, things like that. But I'm just thinking personally, I've never thought, here comes Christmas season. I'm going to get a lot during this time.
I'll get to all of that, Cubby. I will. So again, this all goes back to the fact that Google searches for penile fractures skyrocket in the days surrounding Christmas.
If my penile is fractured, I think I wouldn't take time to Google. I think I would just go to the doctor.
Oh, you really?
Everybody's different, Dana. You know, some folks rush off right away. Some folks try to rub a little dirt on it.
Yeah, can I cure this with a Tylenol?
I don't know. So have you ever had a wiener issue?
No.
No, I think...
Oh, I didn't go to the doctor.
Yeah, see, I waited a while and Googled and Googled and Googled and Googled.
Just Googled a lot again. Of WebMD.
Yeah. When I had it really give way on me, this was before there was anything. This was before there was an internet, and it hurt so bad, and I was so frightened that I had killed it forever. I was 19 or 20, dumb as a box of rocks. But, I mean, it was loud, and it hurt terribly. But I just slept. I slept on the problem.
Just kind of hoped it would go away.
Hoped it would go away, and it never happened again. And I haven't noticed. That was 30 years ago or so. I haven't noticed any after effects. Some will rush off right away. Others will hope it goes away.
You went pretty quickly to the doctor when you had your testicle distortion.
Yes, testicular torsion.
There we go.
Also, very, very painful. And I was much, much older at that point and realized, okay, you can't F around with some of this stuff. So, yeah, I waited around 5-6 hours until it was unbearable. And then I went off to see the folks at the emergency room.
If you were a younger man, would you have waited like maybe a day, or was the pain just that bad?
Yeah, I think if I were a younger man, I would have gutted out the pain a lot longer, no question.
You're embarrassed. I mean, for me, that's kind of what it was.
So when you had when you popped your rod, your name again over there is Josh, you went right away to the doctor?
No, that's what I was saying. I didn't. I Googled, for a while, and then eventually I decided to go.
Eventually you decided to go.
I definitely just
after a few hours. Days. Okay. All right. So that's not all that folks are looking up that's related to sexual accidents. They're not only looking up penile fractures. They also looked up pulled muscle during sex, injury during sex, swelling after sex. To no one's surprise, and we were discussing this a few minutes ago, most so-called experts claim that the reason so many of us older folks end up in the emergency room after trying to pin the wife is apparently because this time of year we're in a great mood because we love the holidays. We feel more adventurous. We're tossing toys into the mix that we've never used before. We're trying positions we haven't tried since high school. And because we're drunk. Those are the leading causes of a broken dong. If you want to talk about those sex toys just for a brief minute, and then we're going to close this one out. Women's are most prone to sex toy injuries, animals that you are.
I've never heard of a woman's sex toy injury.
Me either.
You haven't either? I was
No.
just going to ask if this is something common that I just have been completely ignorant of.
Women's are most prone to sex toy injuries, especially when they're between the ages of 25 and 29.
Shut up. Does it actually say that?
Yeah, it says it
No
right
way.
here. Yeah.
What?
That's you.
That is me.
Now-
I don't really get how that can, unless I guess maybe you have one of the like crazier sex
Yeah, you
toys
got
out
one of
there.
those
Spikes on
two-story tall. You're sticking it to the freezer. You're
Plug it in the wall.
hanging it from the thing. You're on a sex swing. What? I mean,
Yeah.
there's all different ways. Now,
Wait, you guys might really like this text from Equestrian Cheeses. She said, oddly enough, just 2 weeks ago, I dislocated my jaw during sex.
Oh, dude, I get that. I have TMJ. My jaw has locked open one time during sex.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. I think that's what they say. I want to explain that further.
She had her jaw dislocated, she said?
Yeah.
God help us all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women, so women between the ages of 25 and 29 are most prone to sex toy injuries. Now, this is gross. This is gross. A man is most prone to violently injure himself with a sex toy when he's between the ages of 55 and 59.
Oh, that's hot stuff right there.
That's gross. Oh, God, your old uncle is going to the hospital because he hurt himself with a sex toy.
No.
That's only a 30-year difference between men and women.
Between 55 and 59, you old sagging old Tom.
Ew,
Here comes old Tom with his trucker butt into the emergency room because he hurt himself with a sex toy.
Yeah.
Gross.
I bent it with my fleshlight.
Then he sits down next to Ashley, who's a female between 25 and 29. What are you in for? Ashley says, well, I hurt myself with a sex toy. And the guy says, so did I.
Oh, dude.
Me too. Boy, it hurts like hell. You want to see it?
Gross.
You guys really hit it off.
And then it's like a comedy because then the doctors switch up the paperwork for the two of them.
You know, if you get, wouldn't that be something? What a surprise if there's like a new student in there.
Oh.
Steelers fan Jesus says, if you get the old hucklebuck where you break your wiener, you just bite down on a belt, pop that sucker back in place, save yourself a doctor bill.
Oh.
Nuh-uh.
You gotta be tough.
You're gonna be dumb. You gotta
Don't
be
do
tough.
that.
You gotta be tough. Some of us have it, some of us do not.
Oh,
It's not like popping your shoulder back in place, man.
It's way worse.
That's
It's way worse.
that's
You
a
just-
gentle thing.
yeah, you just grab a bottle of whiskey, take a swig, and pop it back in.
Oh, all right. If you don't mind talking further about, as Josh would say, the miraculous life-giving male reproductive unit, I don't believe I've ever heard this type of rod-related nightmare before. Here's another one of those deals that went smooth into the record books. It went straight into the medical record books because it's so rare. Some unlucky bastard out there summers, it doesn't matter, a feller in his 60s. By God, he went off to the doctor to have those fools check on his knee. And they did. And then after that, he said, while you clowns are at it, why don't you take a look-see at my 60-some-year-old brajol? It hurts a little bit now and again, he says. So doctors pulled his pants and his underwears off for him and started in on the guy's pecker. And what they found made the new doctor go off to the corner and begin puking his guts out. The guy's pecker had turned to bone, not to stone. It had turned to bone.
It's crazy that stuff can happen.
Now, out of respect for this guy, Josh, I think we should save all of our lame boner jokes because the poor bastard's going to have to hear him until the day that he dies.
Oh, I agree.
Until the day, if he lives through this.
Too easy as well.
Too easy.
It's already a name for him.
Absolutely.
You can't do that.
Thank you. He'll have to hear those jokes until the day, if he does live. So doctors diagnosed this guy with something called penile ossification. And apparently that's where calcium piles up in the wang. Ugh. And it forms a, quote, extraskeletal bone-like structure there.
Yowzers.
Oh, my gosh. Ew.
The doctors think this effing bizarre deal was possibly caused by that Peyronie's disease, untreated Peyronie's disease. The old boy never did anything about how he's got a left or a right turn in his dong. He let it set like that for too long, and this happened and that happened. Scar tissue and other medical terms like that. And now his rod has turned into a bone. But the guy goes home a winner no matter what, because they told him he's just one of 40 guys to be diagnosed with the condition.
Yeah.
Everyone goes home a winner.
Sure. It's a conversation starter at the bar.
Definitely.
Have you guys ever had somebody send you the fake x-ray that's like, oh, dude, check out how bad I broke my leg, and then
Yes.
there's a huge wiener on there?
Yes.
You can see his wiener in x-rays now that it's all boned up. The article posted a picture. And, I mean, it doesn't look like that meme or whatever it's called that was sent to you. Which, by the way, it took me far too long to realize the joke there. I was looking at the leg going, that does look like a bad fracture. And then you glance and see, oh, I get what's going on.
I have received that message, Josh.
Did you notice it right away?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, back to this poor old guy in his 60s who's got the bone problem. What used to be his penis is now a bone. Stubborn old bastard that he is. I love this part. He declined further examination or treatment. He's going to walk it off. He went home.
Good idea, bud. Good idea.
If he would have accepted help from the doctors, it says here, one of the treatments for bones forming in your wad is shockwave therapy. I bet you feel that, huh, fellas?
I would think so.
Yeah.
He said, no, thanks, I gotta go. Other possible causes. This also is very interesting. Other possible causes for this problem, they said, could have been, quote, repeated trauma to the penis. Now, that's interesting to me. How and why is anyone taking repeated trauma to the Rodney?
Aren't some people into that?
Could be, or maybe a little too tight of a grip or something when he's on his own, or I don't know.
I've certainly heard of trauma to the penis.
Yeah.
But repeated.
Maybe he's got I could tell you this, if he has a large breed dog, he's taking a lot of tails to that area.
Oh.
That is some great stuff right there. Quality stuff. And I've been having so much fun. Really, honestly, Josh, those first two stories, I can't remember the last time I had so much fun.
Oh, I'm glad. I like that when you're having fun and in a good mood. Nothing can change it, I'd imagine.
No, it's going to change.
Oh, no farts.
I'm going to try, though. I am going to try my best to not get really aggravated, but it won't be easy for obvious reasons. And this asshat has made his way into stupid news reports at least once before. I know we've talked about this effing guy at least once before, unfortunately. A 43-year-old derelict in Green Bay, Wisconsin, whose actual legal name is Deez-Nuts.
Deez-Nuts!
He's been sentenced for a domestic disaster he was involved in a few months ago.
Not Deez-Nuts.
Yeah, you're right. Dana, you think, well, that's a guy that makes good decisions. How could this happen? Do you think there's any chance he regrets it? Like, boy,
no.
It seemed kind of funny at the time.
No, he thinks he's the funniest person in the world.
And I'm glad to hear that you're aggravated by this, too, Ashley.
I've never liked Deez-Nuts jokes.
Good.
Except for when you do them, Josh.
I know, my pride was hurt a little bit for the second time this morning.
My boyfriend has tried to drop a few of those on me, and I'm like, you're not Josh. It's not going to work.
It's all not
funny.
I've moved on.
It's all about the delivery, right, Ashley?
Yep.
I've moved on.
Deez-Nuts has been sentenced to a year's probation and this and that. And he has to be sober. Part of his sentencing for this domestic problem, and I'll tell you about the domestic problem here in a minute. Part of his sentencing is that he has to, quote, maintain absolute sobriety. I know a couple people who have gotten that punishment.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, too. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, he's an outcast at this point.
Yep.
Apparently, Deez-Nuts isn't mature enough to compose himself terribly well when he gets his hands on a couple of beers. Deez-Nuts was arrested earlier this year following a violent confrontation with his daughter and her boyfriend in their garbage house in Green Bay, Wisconsin. At the time of the arrest, a cop said that Deez-Nuts apparently, that's not the word, a cop said that Deez-Nuts appeared to be highly intoxicated and he was naked. And he was swinging around a BB gun that looked like a pistol. That's a great way to get killed dead right there.
Yeah, definitely.
So in case you're new to this effing clown, dude legally changed his name from Derek Kroll to Deez-Nuts Kroll. Okay, I got to get through this. I almost screwed it up. Dude legally changed his name from Derek Kroll to Deez-Nuts Kroll in April of 2011. But on the official paperwork, he spelled Deez, D-E-Z. 6 years later, he petitioned to change his name from D-E-Z, Deez-Nuts, to D-E-E-Z, Deez-Nuts. Because it was, quote, and these are his words, it was, quote, not spelled right.
What a dummy.
This effing guy needs to dry up. He needs to grow up. But I doubt any of that will actually happen. We're dealing with a guy in his 40s who chooses to go by the name Deez-Nuts.
He also, in the petition for changing his name, had misspellings there. So you just had to proofread it, I think. It could have saved him a lot of trouble.
I couldn't be in the same room with this guy for 30 seconds.
Josh, you're more in tune with the young people than the rest of us are because of your youngest son. Are Deez-Nuts jokes still in vogue, or have they moved on?
They've moved on.
They've moved on, okay.
Yeah, it's all Riz, Skibbity, Ohio, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Insane. I never thought I'd be this out of touch. I feel so old.
A buddy of mine, he's a contractor, and he had a day. So his daughter and my son go to the same school. She's a year older. And he had a day where he's just out doing bids, right? He's meeting new people, out giving a bunch of bids. And then he gets in his truck at the end of the day and looks down and realized she used a label maker to write Deez-Nuts and put it on his shoulder. And the whole day, he's trying to get people's business, and he had Now, he's got the sense of humor for it and thought it was funny. But he's still thinking, oh, come on. That was the whole workday, and nobody said anything. I didn't even notice.
That's not cool. Says here now, let's get back into the holiday spirit. Santa Claus and the Grinch got into a fist fight on the streets of Mexico. Well, they're natural enemies, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, you'd think maybe they wouldn't lead to a physical altercation, but sure. I mean, the hatred's there, certainly.
Santa Claus and the Grinch got into a fist fight on the wild, untamed streets of Mexico. Apparently, these two pimps are street characters doing their thing out on the street for loose change. The dude dressed as Santa Claus and the dude dressed as the Grinch started tossing hands. They were fighting over tips.
I'd like to see that.
Well, there is a video going around. I wasn't able to see the video. Were they any good at it, Josh, the fighting?
I couldn't see the video either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the link didn't work.
So the word is the two of them were posing for pictures with folks, and one of them started to run hot when he noticed that he wasn't making much for tips. I'm not sure if it was Santa or the Grinch that got all uppity at first. So one dude blamed the other for his lack of tips, and they cut loose on each other. I think we know who won the fight because the police handcuffed the Grinch. Santa Claus was laid out on the sidewalk and needed a paramedic.
Oh,
Santa got laid out.
Grinch beat his.
And then he got cuffed too. Once they slapped him in the face a little. Hey, Santa, you all right? You awake? Well, yeah, I don't know. And they picked him up and cuffed his ass too.
I wonder if that was traumatizing for any children.
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
Especially seeing Santa get handcuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then seeing him get knocked out by the Grinch, too. You would hate to see that.
Yeah, you hate the Grinch now more than the average kid.
What do you think? And there was a lot of people there. There were kids there. But what do you think? Like, at first you'd assume, wow, they really worked this out. This is a great performance they're putting on. Maybe they both received a couple more tips after that.
Wasn't it just yesterday we were talking about bouncers, like bar bouncers?
Yeah, at least sometime this week.
You know who would have made a great bouncer and could have gotten these two pricks separated in no time? The Bumble.
Oh, heck yeah.
So it's not known if either of these two were charged with anything. I think the cops can let this one go. It's a stressful time of year for holiday-themed street performers.
Speaking of the Bumble.
The Bumble.
I saw it was, I walked into Lowe's, and they had a Bumble that was maybe 20 feet tall, and it wasn't an inflatable one. And I was so tempted to get it, but it was a little on the expensive side. But boy, did that look cool.
You know, one of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard, and this goes back to our days of dealing with Dennis Green. We had a Dennis Green impersonator on this show back when Denny was coaching the Vikings, and this guy was just lights out. And he knew all the inside information because he actually worked for the team. That's why he gained such a great impersonation of Dennis Green, because he worked for the team. He was around him every day. And so he knew all this great inside information. And most of you aren't going to get it because you won't remember this player. I do. Some of you, I'm sure, do. Big offensive lineman for the Vikings back in the day named Chris Hinton. Chris Hinton. You can look him up if you want. Apparently, Denny, God rest his soul, nicknamed Chris Hinton the Bumble because he moved like the character from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I thought that was such a brilliant... The Bumble, he'd always say. Christmas, for you older people who remember Chris Hinton. Says here, Christmas crimes are on the rise, Josh. 2 weeks ago, a couple of thieves dressed as Santa Claus broke into a store in Brazil and made off with 33 cellular telephones. They also stole 5 video games and a speaker.
I suppose now's the time, right?
I hope these Christmas crimes don't ruin your holiday spirit.
What's the point of like dressing up as Santa? Did they do that too, be thieves, or were they just chilling in that all
Maybe
day?
just the disguise. It wouldn't be unusual to see a Santa around this time of year. Maybe that. Or...
Maybe it was at a mall, or something where you're going to see people dressed as Santa. Yeah, I think they did it because this time of year you might blend in. Maybe they were having a Santa Claus convention like they did in New York City last weekend where everybody was dressed. Who knows? But I think they used the outfit specifically for the crime. They weren't just running around town celebrating Christmas and said, let's go steal 33 cell phones. You know how the hell it goes around here, Ashley. It's a total nightmare, and we're part of it.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Our Christmas ladder always runs aground because our family has no accomplishments. All right, we need some highlights from our year.
I got suspended for setting up a tent in my Spanish teacher's front yard.
After several adventurous camping trips, Chris is becoming quite the outdoorsman and has found a true mentor in Senora Diaz.
I was trying to snag a bagel from the school dumpster and got accidentally hoisted into the garbage truck.
This was the year Meg caught the travel bug.
Stewie's first pony ride ended after he blew out his diaper all over the horse's back.
Stewie pooped on a horse.
There you go. Sniff some jocks here for just a brief minute or two, and then we'll move on, skis. The Cup champions blew the doors off the joint in St. Paul last night. The final, she was 6-1 in favor of the Florida Panthers. Folks waited around until 8:45 for the puck to drop. Oh. They didn't get much in return for their patience, did they, Josh?
No, not at all.
It's way too late.
It's the last time I stay up till midnight on a Wednesday to watch a hockey game. The Wild are done. They're friggin' done.
What?
I stay up till...
One game.
But you can't, look at the earlier part of the season.
These guys are done. I stayed up till midnight watching a hockey game. They lose 6-1. They're done.
All right, you've convinced me. That's it.
Yeah, it's over.
Cancel the season.
Thanks for nothing. Typical Minnesota team. Typical Minnesota. Get our hopes up. You guys all saw what I saw last night. You just don't have the balls to say it. Josh and I are the only ones that have the balls to say it. It's over.
I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah. You got other things going on at the house.
You're a wise man.
Should be a hell of a cool vibe at Target Center tonight. Coral is back in town. He's going to play the Timberwolves.
Team seems pretty pumped. They've been releasing a lot of videos, interviewing different players, saying how excited they are to see him.
Everybody's pumped. But this game starts at 8:45.
Oh my gosh. Stop that.
We got a bad track record here the last couple of days with games that start at 8:45.
Season's done.
Yeah, are the Wolves done too?
Well, we'll see what happens. If they lose tonight, yeah, I'll consider that maybe they are like the Wild, done.
Pack it all up.
Just because you start a late game doesn't mean you're done. It's how you perform in that late game we'll see tonight, and I'll make my decision tomorrow morning. Tampa Bay Bucks quarterback Baker Mayfield is the latest offensive player of the week. He had a great game last week against somebody. Josh, that Baker Mayfield, just when you think he's done, and he's been, speaking of being done, he's been declared dead many times.
Yes.
Just when you think it's finally over for Baker Mayfield, he swoops in again and steals your girlfriend.
My wife does have a crush on him.
That's what this guy does.
Yeah, he's her favorite pitch man. Loves his commercials.
She likes to watch him on television advertisements. Just when you forget about him, he comes into the mix.
That's what he does.
And he snatches up your lady. Randy Shaver will be here with us at 7:30 is how you say that. Randy Shaver will be here with us. What about that other guy?
Brad Ryder? Yeah, he said he's going to be on.
We'll see about that. Josh's news is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
Bagel, everybody says I say that weird. It has ruined my proposal story. How Jason proposed, and she was like, he brought in a bunch of bagels. I was like, I have to stop this. I will punch you in the throat if you ever tell this story again and call it a bagel. Let me tell you, now when I tell the story, I go, he went and got breakfast.
There you go.
Bagels.
Yeah.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
These are text messages between two friends that were not on city phones. So did I let my hair down and have trust in a friend? Yes. Did they use it against me? Yes. Am I going to be responsible and accountable for my text message? Yes. Was it a reflection on my job? No, because I did my job.
A disgraced former police chief at the helm of a steamy sex scandal in Tennessee won't be wearing a badge again anytime soon. 57-year-old former top cop Burrell Davis in charge when ex-cop Megan Hall's tryst with 6 other officers made national headlines. was unanimously decertified last week by the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, meaning Davis can't wear a badge in the volunteer state and may face difficulty finding a police job elsewhere with Hall's humpings hanging over him. An internal investigation revealed Hall, who was married, had an ongoing affair with one of the department's sergeants and was involved in trysts with other officers, including a threesome with an officer and his wife and a romp during a Girls Gone Wild-themed hot tub party. Davis wasn't accused of having sex with Hall, but admitted he was sent racy photos of her by at least one sergeant under his command and joked about the station house escapades. She has a tight little A, though, former Sergeant Ty McGowan said.
I remember this story. It was really sexy stuff that was going on over there.
Yeah, she was getting with everybody.
Yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of reading about it. Yeah, so this guy's in trouble because he knew about it and didn't do it.
Yeah, he's the chief.
Yes, he is. Or he was.
So after Ty talks about how tight her butt is, Davis responded, "Yup." The fallout was swift and career-ending for many involved, including Hall and Davis, who both lost their jobs in the wake of the scandal. But as you heard in the opening clip, Chief Davis defended his message exchange with McGowan, who he said was friends with him for 16 years.
Well, that was a total disaster, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, it
for
was.
quite a few people. We enjoyed the hell out of it, but...
yeah, it's fun when you're not involved.
Yeah.
I'd imagine for them it's not quite the same. A Dallas Police Department employee found himself on the wrong side of the law Monday after swiping merchandise from a North Texas Target. Billy Flores, a 34-year-old 911 call analyst for the department, was arrested about 8:30 p.m. for shoplifting. According to police, Flores and a woman attempted a not-so-successful getaway by hiding items in a stroller before being stopped by loss prevention officers. It appears Flores is no stranger to sticky fingers. Authorities revealed he'd already been cited for 2 previous shoplifting incidents. He's been with the department's communications division since April 2021, but is now on administrative leave pending an internal affairs investigation.
You called him a 911 call analyst.
Yeah.
Is that just a fancy term for a 911 operator?
Well, I don't know if he's somebody that logs the calls, and I'm not sure.
I guess it doesn't matter. The reason I ask is, you know anybody who does that for a living? Answers the telephone over there at 911? You both do.
And you know someone who did. A former coworker of ours did.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall this person.
Didn't do it for too long, just because it's dark. People are usually calling at their worst moments, and she had trouble with that. I had thought about doing that for a job too, but for the same reason, I don't think I could.
The one that I know is a female too, and she said, yeah, it's tough. There's very, very bad nights, but she says sometimes you hear happy endings, so that kind of makes up for the bad ones.
You considered it, Josh?
Yeah, because have you ever seen what a 911 call center looks like?
No.
It's something out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you were attracted to it because of the technological side?
Yeah, and kind of like the multitasking with all the computers and stuff like that.
I bet
the only thing I wouldn't want to do is answer the phone and talk to people.
Josh is sending them to voicemail.
But everything else, I'm in.
I bet you'd be very good at it, but I've often said I think you would have excelled in any style of law enforcement. I know a gal who recently was being interviewed for that gig. And then it ended somehow, and I wish I could tell you how, because she was very excited about it. She was very excited about the possibility of landing that job. Maybe the psych test is what boned her? I don't know. But she was very excited about it. You said someone who used to work here did that part-time?
No, what?
Full-time.
I think it was full-time. And maybe a year?
How was it full-time if they were working here?
She left here, started doing that, and then came back.
And she worked part-time here at the time.
All right.
Well, I said time a lot in that. But sometimes you just say time.
When you have a minute, write the name down, because I don't recall. But they quit the gig because it was just too dark and depressing. I can totally understand that.
Yeah. She's very empathetic, so she took it hard.
I can totally understand that. Oh, yes, now I do recall. You would have been great at it, Josh.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know why you never think so.
He wouldn't let them off the phone.
Dude, just be quiet.
Yeah, the boss is like, we got other calls coming in, douchebag.
You said the cops are coming 10 times.
That's great.
Wyoming, Minnesota. Ashley, you're so right. Wyoming, Minnesota police say a student's claim of being approached by a suspicious man at a bus stop was made up. I guess this is kind of one of those
somebody noticed me
situations. The Forest Lake area middle school student initially said a man approached him at a bus stop about 7 a.m. Monday, asking for his number and then some other uncomfortable questions before slapping him.
Oh!
The student alleged the man then took off after Will Smithing him across the face. But yesterday, police said their investigation revealed that story was fabricated. We interviewed numerous students, reviewed bus video footage and other surveillance, and ultimately the student confirmed the incident was made up, police stated. They thanked the community for their patience and cooperation during the investigation.
Young kid wants to be noticed.
Yeah, I mean...
Not the best way to go about it.
No, so stupid. Glad there's not a guy running around doing that, but what a waste of resources. And, I'm sure the community was pretty terrified. If there's a driving test Hall of Fame, a recent driver's attempt in Chaska will not be inducted. Chaska PD shared a tough-to-live-down image from the Carver County DMV, where a license seeker's test took an unintended and embarrassing detour. While attempting to park, the driver mistook the gas pedal for the brake.
Oh, no.
Striking 2 vehicles before crashing into the DMV building itself.
Is that right?
They'll need to retake their test another time, the Chaska police said, adding a touch of humor to an otherwise chaotic scene. Police said the employee who sits on the other side of that wall that was struck had the day off during the crash, luckily.
Oh, thank God.
So while thankfully no one was hurt, the driver's dreams of passing their tests were put on pause for now, and this holiday memory may be tough to leave in the rearview mirror, I'd imagine, as this is going to come up a lot at their holiday gatherings.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go back to this DMV when you take your next test.
No, you find another.
Yeah, you go to Dakota County at that point or something.
It could have been worse. The car in the building could have caught on fire, I guess.
True. Can you imagine?
Imagine like the sibling or something or their buddies. Like, so how'd the test go? Not well.
Yeah, some people would just maybe I forgot to use my blinker, or I bumped one of the flags while parallel parking. No, this person, they went for it. They're memorable, that's for sure. Santa Claus delivered more than just holiday cheer in Jefferson County, Alabama over the weekend. He helped nab a car theft subject. According to the sheriff's office, deputies were conducting a traffic safety checkpoint when they received an alert about a stolen vehicle in the area. When they tried to stop the car, the passenger surrendered immediately, but the driver made a break for it, disappearing into a nearby wooded area. Then Santa Claus, who was volunteering at a local church just down the road, spotted the suspect trying to sneak back toward the church, hoping to blend into the crowd. But instead of toys, Santa delivered justice, detaining the man until deputies arrived.
I chased him, I grabbed him, we took him to the ground, put his hands behind his back, and the officer got on top of him and handcuffed him.
As it turns out, the jolly old elf wasn't your average Kris Kringle. Beneath the red suit and white beard was a retired sheriff's deputy. While the sheriff's report didn't mention Santa uttering any cool one-liners like yippee-ki-yay, naughty lister, or go ahead, make my sleigh, the department gave Santa a big shout-out on social media, saying even Santa has our back when it comes to fighting crime.
If I was a hardened criminal, I'd be pretty embarrassed if I got caught by Santa Claus.
I mean, it'd be a relief when you find out, oh, he's a cop, or he's a retired cop.
I suppose.
But I'm still with you.
No one would believe me in jail, when I spun that tale. Hey, it wasn't just Santa Claus. That was a retired cop under that uniform. All the other jail characters would say, yeah, right.
But the cop did say, he's the suspect, 18, he's 61. So he also got his ass kicked by a 61.
Oh, no.
A 27-year-old.
That's even worse.
Yeah. A 27-year-old woman is at the center of a bizarre and chaotic scene that includes a cemetery crash, grave desecration, and an impromptu bathroom break in the back of a police car. Early Friday morning, police responded to reports of a crash at a church cemetery. When they arrived, they found an SUV that had smashed through fencing and come to a halt on top of several gravestones. And there, unconscious behind the wheel, was Shaquilla Clark.
Shaquilla?
When officers woke her up and asked what happened, Clark first claimed she was visiting her grandmother's grave. Later, though, she confessed she had purposely lined up the gravestones and ran them over. Police say Clark failed the field sobriety test and admitted she'd been at a bar earlier in the night. Then in the back of the police cruiser, Clark repeatedly announced she needed to use the restroom.
Gotta go potty.
Yep.
When officers told her it'll just be a minute and she could hold it until they reached the station, she took matters into her own pants and peed them right in the car, just moments after running over the gravestones.
She lined
R.I.P.
She lined up gravestones?
Yeah.
I don't pick them up and move them around.
I didn't think you could.
I'm not sure what
Is she a power lifter or something?
The judge didn't sugarcoat things in court. I'm very concerned about the loved ones of the gravestones that were desecrated, the judge said sternly. However, Clark said that she had a different takeaway from the incident. She told the court she'd spoken with family members of the damaged gravestones, saying that they reassured her things can be replaced, but people can't. So
it's a deep message.
Yeah, she said that the family members she spoke to were all happy that she was okay.
Oh, wonderful.
None of them were mad. 2 men were arrested after a joyride in a stolen golf cart ended up in the Gulf of Mexico. It teed off Sunday when deputies were called to the Hilton Garden Inn, where a manager showed them surveillance footage of 2 men driving in a stolen golf cart. The cart was later found abandoned in the ocean, heavily damaged, incurring a 1-stroke water hazard penalty. The suspects, both from Indiana, were later spotted walking near the hotel and admitted that they'd taken the cart for a beachside joyride.
Yeah, you can't do that. They're on vacation. They think there's no rules, huh?
Yeah. Different state, having a couple of drinks, and they went for it. A 39-year-old Florida man made off with an unusual getaway car, an Orange County mosquito control truck, while an employee inspected a waterway. The unusual theft unfolded about 9:15 a.m. Monday when an Orange County mosquito control employee parked the truck and stepped out to check for mosquito activity in a ditch. As the employee focused on their work, an unidentified man rolled up on an electric bicycle, ditched the e-bike, and apparently itching for a ride, took off in the mosquito truck instead. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is investigating the peculiar incident.
I wonder if he turned on the little fogging machine.
They have those on those trucks?
Yeah, isn't that like the whole, because they like go around and like will spray the ditches and stuff like that?
Oh, that's cool.
I'm going to have to go along with it.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Working in mosquito control, it sounds like a laid-back gig.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I bet there's plenty of things that suck about it, like any job, right? But maybe it's kind of fun.
It'd be fun to be the helicopter one.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
I mean, people definitely appreciate what you do. I mean, you got that, right?
I didn't think about that. That's a side of the gig that I didn't think about. The helicopter guy that sprays the... I was just picturing like some real hippy-dippy stuff, like you and your fellow mosquito control worker go out into the woods, you test some waters, you smoke a joint, you know what I mean? You're kind of out there, just the two of you.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, that's the way I'm picturing it, at least.
2 New York men, age 59 and 64, tragically proved not all fertilizers are created equal. And they taught us all an important lesson. When fertilizing your marijuana plants, don't use bat poop. The 59-year-old was the first to show signs of trouble, dropping a significant amount of weight over 6 weeks.
Oh, boy.
When doctors found a mass on his larynx, they initially feared cancer, but a biopsy revealed the real culprit, a rare fungal infection contracted from bat feces.
What were these guys?
What are you thinking?
The 64-year-old followed suit with his own health decline, marked by severe weight loss, difficulty eating, and dangerously low sodium levels. He, too, was diagnosed with the same infection. It didn't take long to make that bat crap connection. Officials learned the older man had a bat infestation in his attic and decided to repurpose the abundant supply of guano as fertilizer for his weed plants.
Wow, he must have read some misleading information on the damned internet, huh?
Yeah, and
Not on the internet.
The other guy, inspired by the genius idea, decided to make his own bat weed by purchasing bat feces for himself online, which you can do.
News to me.
Medical experts say the men likely inhaled harmful fungal spores while handling that guano.
Boy, that sounds like something, Josh, that a simple Sucrets isn't going to cut through.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, is that how, that's sort of how Batman became Batman, didn't he? Oh, no, he doesn't have superpowers. Never mind. That's not how it works.
These guys were they were throating bat feces.
Yeah, they were breathing it in.
Oh, my God.
To the bat bong.
I thought you were going to say they turned bat crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like some sort of rabies deal?
Yeah.
No, they died.
God,
unfortunately.
They went ahead and died?
Yeah, they did. The Chargers host the Broncos for Thursday night football. Registration's now open for the 2-day Drop Shot Pickleball event happening January 11th and 12th in Shakopee, benefiting Randy Shaver's Cancer Research and Community Fund. Last year, it raised over $15,000 to support Minnesota's cancer community, and they're aiming to do even better this year, hopefully with your help. All skill levels are welcome with men's, women's, and double divisions, $120 per team, prizes for the winners. Proceeds, as I mentioned, benefit the Randy Shaver Cancer Research and Community Fund. You can sign up at the Randy Shaver website, randyshavercancerfund.org. Fun event. I went last year, and I think you'll enjoy yourself, especially if you're a pickleballer. But if not, it's just kind of fun to go watch people. And
I think I'll go this year. I kind of like Nick. It'd be fun to see some type of injury.
I
Not
saw
too
one
serious,
last year.
but
I saw one last year. A guy's knee ended up in the rafters.
Oh, if Randy goes down, I mean, imagine the laughs.
Oh, we got to get it on tape.
Jake Gyllenhaal is 44 today. You guys fans?
yes, I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
Where does he come off, you know?
You don't like his attitude?
Where does he come off turning 44? Yeah, no, I've seen him in quite a few movies. We were just talking about one the other day. What's that called again?
Nightcrawler.
I'm a nut job with a camera, and again?
Nightcrawler, such a good
That's
movie.
not it. What's it called?
Celtics great, U of M great, former Minnesota Timberwolves coach, and he helped the Cheers gang beat Gary's Old Town Tavern. Kevin McHale, 67. Saturday's going to be a tough anniversary for a buddy of ours, Barsaw Jesus, and his wife. Especially difficult this time of year. So best to your family, Barsaw Jesus. We're with you, brother. Ultimate Frisbee Jesus texts a shout out to HOA Treasurer Jesus, former Army LPN Jesus texts in a birthday shout out to his daughter Stephanie. Welcome to your dirty 30s, Nicole, from Metal Hand Finishing Jesus. Happy 56 to working 24/7 Jesus. And this text reads, can you guys wish the funniest, kindest, and most not all about himself guy, High Hopes McGee Jesus, a happy birthday from High Hopes McGee Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of emotion, a lot of feel for them, and just got to stay in the game and keep your emotions under check. And I'm sure guys will be ready to play. I know that.
It's dope. I mean, he's always, unselfish. I think that's the biggest word to describe him. That's why I say he kind of helped me shape to be the guy I am today.
I hear you. I think I understood what was being said right there. Big night tonight. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Josh, I wanted to run something by you real quick. We were talking earlier in your news report about folks who work mosquito control, and I said, sounds like a laid-back gig. You wander around the woods, you're wearing those cargo pants, you smoke a joint, you test the waters to make sure, are there any mosquitoes in the water? Right? Sounded like a laid-back gig. We did get a text from a listener who had a couple of buddies who worked mosquito control, and he said 2 words for you, Cubby.
What's that?
2 words. Truck naps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the best.
Mad truck naps.
That's hilarious.
All right. Hello, Randy Shaver. Hello, Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Have either of you attempted to drive a motor vehicle this morning?
Not yet. I'm
Not yet,
to.
no.
It's not recommended.
I am not even in the Twin Cities yet, so I'll be looking forward to that when I get home.
Randy Shaver, you going somewhere today?
I was planning on doing something this morning, yes. Was it that bad?
Well, I don't know. That's why we're asking you guys, but you haven't gone anywhere.
Texters are saying it's bad. There's articles saying if you can stay home, stay home.
There's quite a few crashes going on.
Negative Yelp reviews.
Yeah. Most people aren't recommending.
0 out of 5.
I'm a little worried about our scheduled guest here in a half hour or so, Dr. Andrea Johnston, veterinarian there at Gurman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. I told her if she changed her mind to let us know, but she's a tough cookie. She says she's gutting it out, but she's still got 22 minutes to turn us down. I said, anytime, if you change your mind anytime before 8, let us know, because we've heard bad things. Brad Ryder, you're still out of town on that fishing trip?
Yeah, we're flying home today. We're flying home, hopefully. Hopefully our plane will come in. But, yeah, I was up at Baudette, Lake of the Woods area since Monday at Ballard's Resort, and we fished a couple of days, and we were going to stay there last night, too, and then drive to International Falls today. But because of the snow, we decided to drive last night. So we're in a hotel in International Falls right now.
That's a long drive.
Did you do all right?
I've got a little bronchitis going on. I haven't felt well the last couple of days, but I'm doing okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, but the fishing. How was the fishing?
I meant fishing. Oh, it was great.
Glad you're feeling better.
We don't care about you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, the fishing was awesome. We got, we pulled in probably a couple of dozen and ended up keeping a little over half that. So it was pretty good.
They'll put you on the fish up there, won't they, Brad Ryder?
Yeah, they will. They know what they're doing.
They drag you out there with some kind of four-wheeler operation, side-by-side deal. You fish, and then they bring you back to shore, and you eat, and you drink beer, and get into bar fights and all that. I've been in that mix before.
Minus the last couple things, yeah. I mean, but yeah, no, it was good.
Well, you didn't drink any beer?
Well, no bar fights or nothing like that. But no.
But you got
yeah, they bring you lunch out there and everything. I mean, it's a pretty basic shack. I mean, there's just a couple of folding chairs in it. It's not like these, big rigs that you see your buddies have with the beds and the, tables and the everything set up. It's just really a basic shack, but they set you up with everything, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great deal. And Brad knows how to photograph a fish.
You sure do, yeah.
Did you send everyone the picture of you and Willie the walleye that you caught?
I don't know. I don't know who's all in that group chat, but yeah.
Brad caught some little hammer handle walleye up there, right?
Yeah.
And he holds the fish way out in front of him.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Makes it look a lot bigger.
So it looks like, my God, look at this sumbitch.
What I did, that was probably the smallest one we caught that day, and my son was holding it. And so I took a picture of him with it, but then I just cropped the picture. I blew up the picture of just the fish and cropped that out and sent it.
Oldest trick in the book when you send your pal a picture of your catch is you got to know how to position that fish to make it look way better than it really is, or way bigger than it really is. That's like an Iowegian thing. You're not an Iowegian, are you, Brad Ryder? You're from Minnesota.
No, I live close enough to the border, though, so that's unfortunate.
That was a trait. That's at least what my dad and his buddies taught us as kids, is Iowegians will keep those little hammer handles and clean them. They don't let them.
We mainly got saugers. Most of what we got was about 11 to 14-inch saugers.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm sorry you're feeling a little bit sick, but
yeah, that's no good.
All those fishing trips. Fine. Those fishing trips always turn out fun. Randy Shaver, did you know about that stereotype as far as walleye fishing goes? You Iowegians keep all them tiny little bastards and don't let them grow up at all. Did you know about that stereotype?
Well, first of all, there's only one lake in Iowa, so I wouldn't know.
You come up here to Minnesota and you keep all the little tiny ones. You don't let them grow up. That when I was a kid and I used to go on all those fishing trips with my dad and his buddies, there was one particular trip, week-long trip up in Canada, and the fellas staying in the cabin next to us, renting the cabin next to us, was a cabin full of Iowegians. And my dad's buddy, Harry, God rest both their souls, Harry would go into the cleaning house every night, and clean our fish. He was an ace with cleaning walleyes. And he'd come back from the cleaning house all pissed off the first 2-3 nights. But what's bothering you? Friggin' Iowegians in there keeping all them little hammer handles, not letting them walleyes grow up. Son of a bitch, and Iowegians. He's just furious. So on the fourth day, we come off the lake, and there the Iowegians were in that cleaning house, just cleaning up all these tiny little walleyes. And Harry kicks open the door and goes, "You friggin' Iowegians, let those damn things grow up a little bit, will you, for Christ's sake?"
They've got, in each one of the shacks out there, they've got rulers. They've got 3-foot-long rulers that are hanging on the wall. And whenever you catch a fish, you're supposed to measure it just to make sure it is, legal.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's I was taught to not trust an Iowegian when it comes to walleye fishing, because they'll take all the little ones out of the lake. I don't know if it's fair or not, but that was the story they like to tell.
So, Nick, you're a big Gopher hockey guy in the past, too, right? You remember the name Nick Anthony, right?
Of course.
Okay, Nick runs the resort up here that we're at. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Keith Ballard's family founded the joint, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and now Nick and his wife took it over a few years ago. So,
well, sure. Randy Shaver, none of that sounds interesting at all to you, does it, going out on...
It all sounds foreign, yes.
Yeah.
As long as you guys are having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah, we're happy for you.
If you don't mind.
Set the hook, Randy.
I know guys like you, Randy Shaver. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are, built or interested in that type of a scene. Some are not. I've got plenty of fishermen friends, enthusiasts, whether it be winter or summer, doesn't matter. But I have a few other friends that they couldn't give two pumps about fishing or any outdoor stuff at all. So maybe you had to be there. But a couple of winters ago, my pal Vinny caught this big fat-ass pile of crappies. It doesn't matter where he was, on the ice. And so he sends a picture through a group text to a bunch of us of this pile of great-looking crappies that he caught. And then, of course, you get the series of comments. And one guy was like, wow, where are you? The next guy says, oh, those look like 2.5 inches or whatever. Next guy says, are you using that rig? Are you using this rig? Like the fifth guy down the line is my buddy Rick, who intimidates Josh, by the way.
Very much so.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Rick couldn't care about fishing in a million years. So after all these comments saying, wow, great job, what kind of rig are you using? Then there's Rick. He just simply texted, don't care.
I like Rick.
And I gave him a lot of credit for that.
I've always had a lot of fun with Rick, but I'm always afraid that something's going to set him off, right?
He is susceptible to a meltdown.
A little volatile.
He can be volatile.
I haven't yet been the target, but I'm afraid someday that'll happen.
Sounds like you're on eggshells, Josh.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're around.
Yeah.
All right. What the hell? I had an organized pile of this and that, and then I lost where I was going to lead with. Well, and it was, of course, tonight's game. I don't need, I guess, the verbiage in front of me. It should be fun tonight. This is where our intro was leading us. Should be fun tonight with Carl back in town. Timberwolves. And he's bringing the rest of the New York Knickerbockers with him to play the Wolves. And unfortunately, it's an 8:45 friggin' game, but this is cool.
It's a national game, that's why.
Right, yeah. It's on TNT. But like Josh was saying earlier, a lot of Carl's former teammates are very excited to have him back in town. I bet it'll be an emotional thing before the game starts. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I really, honestly, I get. What do you call this, Josh? When I get very active,
animated.
Animated. Thank you. When I'm talking on the radio. And I have somehow, in all of my arm swinging and hand gestures, I have misplaced everything I had planned to talk about.
Do you think that there'll be the same sort of excitement that I'm trying to think of how to compare it to somebody else who's come back and played in the Twin Cities, who's back for the first time? Like KG, when KG came back?
Well, that was off the charts. There's nothing you can compare. When Kevin,
what do you think? How would you compare?
That's a good question.
Pat coming back tonight to, in any sport here in the Twin Cities, who would you compare it to?
Well, that's a good question. I wish I had more time to think about it. I mean, unfortunately, when Zachy came back with the New York Islanders, there were a lot of hockey fans here in town who were all butthurt about money.
And it's also hard when they're on the ice. You don't really see them necessarily, right?
I didn't think about that difference there either.
Or baseball, where you can actually see their emotion if they're back.
We haven't had a lot of athletes. I mean, this is going to sound like a backhanded dig, and it kind of is. We haven't had a lot of athletes in this town that have had the level of success that he had. Maybe at the peak of their career, get traded and then come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think you're right.
That's true. No, that's
it hasn't happened very often at all. That's why I can't think of any. I mean, you can't equate Cousins coming back to this because Cousins wasn't here. You know, he's here for 4 or 5 years.
Well, maybe
what about Torrey Hunter?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Torrey Hunter.
Maybe. Yeah.
Torrey Hunter is a great example. I don't necessarily remember that game or that day. Here's some people saying, we're forgetting the obvious when Kirk Cousins came back here a couple.
No, yeah,
That's way different.
The crowd, the crowd greeted him. It was such a warm reception when Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
They loved him.
Kirk Cousins was a signed player coming here. He wasn't like
They were joking, Randy Shaver. They were joking because he did not.
Guys who have spent 8 to 10 years here and had, were all-star type players and then came back. There aren't many.
No. People are saying
Flips guy too. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that goes with Karl Anthony Towns that makes it pretty special.
We're expecting a very warm reception.
Yes.
Yep.
Obviously, people were joking about Kirk Cousins, and people are sending in texts saying David Ortiz. Well, I don't remember. Much about his return.
If he did play, he really wasn't Big Poppy when he came back right away.
When he first came back, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right.
No. He got released, and 29 other teams could have picked him up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The whole aura around him leaving wasn't the same.
No, absolutely different. Okay, and here's the thing. People are sending in Kevin Garnett, Mike Modano. Those guys are on a different level. Totally different level. I mean, Carl was great while he was here, but he wasn't KG or Mike Modano. So I think we need to exclude the all-time greats. When they come back, they're obviously going to get.
I agree with Brad. I don't think there's like a middle ground. I think it's either the all-time greats or
really nothing.
Nobody.
Yeah, I can't think it's a great question.
I mean, Torrey Hunter is probably the best example. I would think.
Yeah.
Kevin Love.
Oh well, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, because Kevin Love was a star player here, and when he came back, he got a nice reception. Sure.
What about Randy Moss? I don't remember.
Don't remember
coming him back.
Luis Arise.
He came back here twice though, too, right? So it's not like, I wouldn't put Moss on.
Justin Morneau. I don't remember. There's some other good ideas, but I think Torrey Hunter might be the best one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited to see Carl and.
Tibbs. No, I'm kidding.
Tibbs? No, I know you like the guy. You like Tibbs. The Knicks are doing well. The Wolves have won a couple in a row, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Knicks are third in the East. I mean, they're playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Greg Popovich has updated folks on his status after recovering from a mild stroke in November, and he's been thanking everyone for their support. And he threw a little joke in here. Greg Popovich, of course, the all-time great NBA coach, San Antonio Spurs, winningest coach that's ever lived, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right about that? Yeah. He's got the most wins in regular season history, doesn't he?
I don't know if that's... Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
State of basketball, my ass. So Greg Popovich said, while I wish I could get back, this is a message to fans, while I wish I could get back to each one of you, for now, let me say that my family and I are forever grateful. No one is more excited to see me return to the bench than the talented individuals who have been leading my rehab process. They've quickly learned, he says, that I'm not coachable. He loves that gruff character, doesn't he?
That's so douchey.
Yeah.
He loves to be that gruff character.
Those kind of guys, though, are usually the biggest teddy bears, too. So.
Well, it says right here, most regular season wins.
Okay.
Who did he pass? Don Nelson, Lenny Wilkins. Who did he pass? Someone find a list of the...
Jerry Sloan.
Jerry Sloan. He's got me.
Yeah.
Someone looked that up. All-time NBA head coach regular season wins. It was either Jerry Sloan or Lenny Wilkins or Don Nelson or one of those guys that he passed.
Red Auerbach.
Red Auerbach, he probably is down the list a little ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
Goes Popovich, Nelson, Lenny Wilkins, Jerry Sloan.
God,
Pat
we're
Riley.
good.
Well,
just
we got them all.
Stop right there because we got him. No, who's after Jerry Sloan?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. He never did dick. The Pigs got their guts stomped out on national television last night. Not only did the Florida Panthers stomp a mud hole in them, but then they walked it dry. Oh. They walked it dry.
If that's a preview of the Stanley Cup, that's not a good sign. That was not good.
She was 6-1 in favor of the Florida Panthers by the time she was all said and done. I was saying folks waited around till 8:45 for the puck to drop, and then...
Just when we started really building up this team and talking about how good they've been, they've had a couple of really bad lopsided losses.
Yeah.
And they've lost a couple of other games, and you're starting to see the cracks in the armor a little bit.
Well, that's not the way I see it, Randy Shaver. I don't, because there are some significant injuries in the lineup. Significant injuries, I think I said that. But
that's all part of the game.
No, I understand that. You didn't let me finish my thought. Kind of like an Iowegian who cleans a tiny little walleye before that sumbitch is... You jump the gun there. They have some significant injuries, and the teams that they have lost to, what have they lost? 4 of their last 6? Are some of the toughest teams in the NHL. Florida, Edmonton, Los Angeles. Who am I missing? There was one other in there.
Okay.
Vegas. So I don't really look at it as cracks in the armor. If they start losing a game to Columbus and to Burbity Derp and Peterborough and things, then I might say, uh-oh. But these are very good hockey clubs. So I'm not too nervous. You can go ahead and be nervous.
I'm not. I'm just saying, just when we started really, saying that they were one of the best teams in the league, and they are, and they've played like it, we've seen them stumble. And you can put injuries as the reason why. That's fine. But it's still not what we had seen earlier in the year. So.
Josh will tell us when to worry.
You know what?
I always
Josh
write it on my calendar.
To tell us.
Josh never worries.
Josh is the best.
Josh never worries.
If I tell
takes
Josh,
a lot to get me to work.
Yeah.
You said my name, I was already nervous.
As confident as the day is long.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Josh will tell us when to worry. I hear you, Randy Shaver. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow night, the Fellers play at home against Utah. Speaking of Jerry Sloan, he's bringing Stockton with him, Malone, Thurl Bailey. Yep. Who else is coming with on that Utah team? Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, boy. They're loaded.
Mark Eaton.
Pete Maravich.
Pete Maravich. Their power play is unbelievable. It's Maravich, Eaton, Malone, Stockton, and Hornacek.
Yeah.
You put Mark Eaton in front of a goalie?
I was just about to say, can you imagine Karl Malone in front of the goalie?
Screening a goaltender?
And then with skates on, too.
Yeah. I love Thurl Bailey. Only guy on earth I've ever heard of with the first name Thurl. Thurl.
Yeah.
Played
Former
for the Timberwolves.
Thurl Bailey.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he wore the goggles.
Oh,
Yeah.
dork. I love it.
And, Josh, he had a beard.
He did have a beard.
Did you look up Thurl Bailey?
Yeah.
Well,
Part of that NC State team.
Oh, he was on that's right, the 1983
Yes, he was.
Jim Valvano.
I can tell you that starting 5 still.
Go.
Derek Wittenberg, Sidney Lowe, Thurl Bailey, Lorenzo Charles, and I am blanking on the 5th one, but off the bench was Terry Gannon.
There you go. I remember all those guys. I remember all those guys. Are you sure Gannon wasn't that starter also?
I don't think he was a starter. But anyway, he's a big-time golf commentator.
Oh, McQueen.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't think of the first
Steve
name.
McQueen.
It was not Steve McQueen.
Steve. Yes, it is.
Steve McQueen.
Look it up.
I got 4, though.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not Steve McQueen?
I think you're right.
I think the 5th guy's name was McQueen. Josh, if you can swing by Thurl Bailey's, what do you call that again?
Wikipedia page? I'm on it right
Can you
now.
get an explanation about his first name?
Yeah,
Thurl.
let me see if I can find it. I was wondering if that was a nickname or something, but it says it's not. So, I mean, usually they'll have, they'll say, his real name and then give you an idea why he had the nickname, but I don't see it yet.
Next pet that I own, I'm going to name Thurl.
I really like that.
Yeah, how can you not? It's so original.
And it's not like it's not annoying. It's not like with the other trying to be original names.
I wonder if he has. he gets this. Earl? Did you say? I wonder if he gets that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about you having the pet. If people are gonna say that to you.
That's okay. I can live with that. Maybe he probably did go through life every grade, right? When the teacher's doing roll call, they probably assume it was a misprint. THURL.
Yeah.
Here's I hate it when the listeners are mad at me. But when I was rolling through all-time greats from the Utah Jazz, I have a few listeners who are going to stop listening if I don't mention Adrian Dantley. I apologize. I almost forgot about Adrian Dantley.
Yeah, a great player.
Quincy Lewis.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Quincy went over there. Yeah. I read an article yesterday. I mean, absolutely hilarious. I think you guys will love it too. It discusses, this is their verbiage, not mine. It discusses the real possibility that this offseason, the Vikings make a trade to bring Kirk Cousins back to the
Why would they ever do that?
Do it.
No.
No. This is not the quarterback version of Cam Akers. We're not doing it.
Oh, do it. It'll be so funny.
I want it to happen pretty bad.
No.
To back up somebody, or
Yeah, I guess he can sit on the bench. He can be like the third string.
No, it's not to back up anybody.
No way.
No.
It says here, let me just dump this on you. Ooh,
you are high.
Andrei Kirilenko, AK-47.
Oh, I love that
guy.
I loved him too. Also played for the Wolves. I had no idea there were so many Utah Jazz fans, especially from their 80s and 90s rosters, in our listening audience. We forgot about Greg Ostertag.
Oh, sure.
Who passed away, didn't he?
Did he really?
Someone looked that up. Greg Ostertag passed away, didn't he? Oh, no, I'm thinking, no,
You're thinking about Brian Reeves.
You just killed him.
No, not Brian.
Brian Reeves. Right.
What is that? No, the big white boy from North Carolina. He passed away. What was his name?
Montross?
Yes, Montross. He passed away.
Eric
Montross. Why can't I picture Reeves? Who'd you say?
Brian Reeves, Big Country.
Oh, Big Country. Oh, God. No, he didn't die, did he?
No.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of big white guys.
Big doofy white dudes.
Yeah. I'm sorry to Greg Ostertag fans. I have that problem. I got him confused with Eric Montross, which is very sad that Eric Montross died.
He was only 52.
It's really terrible. It's really terrible. But Brian Reeves, see, now you got me going. The last time I won a bracket, your big March Madness bracket, the last time I full-on won the sumbitch was all thanks to Big Country and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I believe it was the year 1995. When Big Country brought that team to the Final Four, he made a pimp some real money. So I'll always be indebted, if that's the word, to Bryant Reeves. Back to this article now. It's great comedy. It discusses the real possibility that the Vikings make a trade to bring Kirk Cousins back to the team this offseason. It gets really confused and contractual here. I'm not going to get into that. It gets real into detail on contractually how it works and where the money would be moved around. We don't need to hear it. Just understand that it's a possibility that he's tradable. So just understand that according to this article,
he's tradable.
He is tradable.
No doubt about that.
Okay. But I'm just imagining a lot of people would assume he's not because of the mass amounts of money he's making. But the way they break it down in the article, it wouldn't be it wouldn't hamstring a franchise to take on this money, that money. He's tradable.
Well,
and it wasn't just
the Falcons are on the hook for most of it.
Yeah, Atlanta will take care of most of that money.
Okay, fair enough. So you understand. Yes, John.
There were a few articles saying the exact same thing, that the Vikings could bring him back.
This is so awful.
That.
No, this is happy news, Ashley.
No.
Like I said, if he wants to come back and be like the third string QB and just chill on the sidelines for some giggles,
I don't think he would come back to be the backup. I think there's some team out there with a market that would, like Randy said, that would take him.
He's not going to be anybody's backup.
No way.
I think he's going to be anybody's starting.
No way.
I mean, he's benched right now. They're going to start Mikey Penis.
Clown Penis.
Here's what they say. Okay. This article picks on three particular NFL franchises, saying it makes some amount of sense for him to be traded to the following franchises. the Cleveland Browns and New York Jets. And then they go to the Minnesota Vikings. So let me just throw this your way. A return to the Twin Cities really isn't as ridiculous as it sounds. The Vikings have done phenomenally well with Sam Darnold, but it's unclear if they want to make a massive commitment to him with a new contract. And we still might be another year away from seeing RJ, what the hell's his name again?
J.J. McCarthy.
We still might be another year away from seeing J.J. McCarthy to see if they don't know yet if he has what it takes as an NFL starter. So that opens the door for the Vikings. You make a trade for, what's his name again? I just said it. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Because Sam Darnold goes off and signs a big deal with the Raiders. McCarthy, you're not that interested in McCarthy just yet. You don't know if he has what it takes. The organization knows exactly who Cousins is and what he brings to the table.
Well,
they know he can win within their system.
Darnold's not signing with the Raiders because they're going to draft Shadir Sanders and
whoever it is, Brad Ryder.
Whatever.
Throw a monkey wrench into this fantasy.
Right.
Well, then what will Rodgers' role on the team be?
Right.
Will he back up Cousins? Will he start over Cousins?
Spiritual advisor.
Start two quarterbacks.
Oh, my gosh.
Team doctor.
Oh, I've been seeing some clips from his documentary, and it's about as bad as we expected it to be.
Is it really?
Yep. There is some footage of him, like, actually on the ayahuasca, though.
Is he naked?
not in the short clip I saw, but
See,
maybe.
I know guys that say the only way to take ayahuasca, you got to be ass naked.
I know nobody asked me, but here's what I would do. I would commit to Darnold. He's proven he can be your guy. I would trade McCarthy for
McCarthy.
Yes, for a first-round draft pick because you can still get a first-round draft pick for him probably, and then make Daniel Jones your backup next year.
I'm with Brad Ryder.
Just because of the trade?
No, that all kind of makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm not convinced that this JJ. I've never. I really don't. I don't understand.
You've got a proven guy who's not that old. Why are you going to roll the dice with a guy who's never played it down in the NFL?
I'll be totally honest with you. I've never understood from word one why everyone's so excited about J.J. McCarthy. I don't get it.
Because they have the same name, and it's so cute.
I'm not saying he can't do it, but you got a guy here who's already doing it. So why? And he's not that old.
I think one of the things, though, is the Vikings are seeing success with a quarterback situation that they haven't invested 60% of their salary cap in the quarterback.
Yeah, it's got to make sense financially.
That's one of the issues that I think the Vikings are weighing is how much money do we put into that quarterback position, and how does that affect the rest of the team? Because we're finding that, McCarthy's under team control for whatever it is, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it might be. And if the kid's good and can prove that he can play, you will have cap flexibility for that time period to build your roster and be successful. The problem is if you sign Sam Darnold to a monster contract, now that money, how else do you support the rest of your team?
Well,
how do you do the things that you want to do?
You've got to make it make sense financially. I agree. You can't overpay for him, but I think I can't get inside of his head, but I think you wonder whether he won't. I don't want to say take less, but maybe to stay here where he's had success and he's got Addison and Jefferson and he's in a good situation. Maybe he might take 10.
At any rate, this was a lot of fun.
I think a lot of it will depend on how far they go in the playoffs. I think if they go really far, the pressure on the Vikings to do kind of, Brad, what you're talking about will increase quite a bit. If they get beat in the first round, you won't hear very much about it.
Now, if they lose their last 4 games here, my opinion can change. I'm just telling you.
I'm just imagining one night here come June or something, May. We're all sitting at home, and our television news tells us that the Vikings.
No.
I'm just imagining how much fun that would be.
I think we agree on that.
The television news tells us that the Vikings have made a trade to bring Kirk Cousins back to town and play for them. That would be hilarious.
I'm a Cousins guy, and I don't want to do that.
It is weird how many articles were written about it. Well, how about this one? Vikings could replace Sam Darnold in reunion with 4-time Pro Bowl QB, and it's another article about Kirk Cousins coming back to the Vikings.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. That's fun. By the way, back to Michael Penix Jr. He learned that he was the new starter for the Falcons while he was buying a hot dog at Costco.
Wow, Phoenix. They got good hot dogs.
Mm-hmm. People talk about those hot dogs a lot. I've never had one.
Fire.
He got a telephone call. He got a telephone call while he was buying a hot dog at Costco.
It would have been funny if the kid behind the counter told him, "Hey, dude, did you check Twitter? You're starting on Sunday."
Probably should put that hot dog down, man.
Hot dog. That's how you say it. It's not hot dog.
Do I say it weird?
No, not you.
Oh.
I'm still shell-shocked from this bag of penises that I used to work with here in the building. He was from Boston. And whenever we would talk about hot dogs, he pronounced it hot dog. And one morning, Josh was here. I just wrapped my hands around his throat.
Yeah. Say it one more time.
You say that one more time. Hot dog, like a football would say hot. drove me nuts. The NFL has gone ahead and fined a Cincinnati Bengals running back by the name of Chase Brown. They fined him $5,000. Is that all? $5,000 for jumping into the Cowboys' gigantic red Salvation Army donation cuddle after scaring it. You guys know? Do you know this story? I don't.
Why did they fine him for that?
Because it's using a prop during a touchdown celebration, Randy Shaver.
Oh, for clumps.
And he can donate the $5,000 to the Salvation Army. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
It's up on 93x.com if you want to see it.
He told reporters. The reporters told him, the team reporters had told, he didn't even hear the news from the NFL, and he was shocked. He had no idea you couldn't do that.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because a reporter said...
I'm trying to remember, did that end up being a touchdown or was it called back?
Oh, nobody cares. I don't know.
I think it was called back.
I think the play was called back.
Yeah.
So he did the whole jumping into the Salvation Army kettle for nothing.
You think they'd be cool with that because it's like, I don't know, some more like free advertisement in a way?
And the NFL.
Well, who's cool with it?
Really behind Salvation Army.
It's not the Salvation Army who's mad at him.
Yeah, I know, but I thought because the NFL and them obviously partner in some way.
I don't know. Well, look who's running the friggin' scene over there. That what's his name? Gronson. What the hell's the NFL? How do you call it? Goodell. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they don't suspend him, I need him in fantasy football.
Oh, stop it.
Shut up.
I'm with you.
So dude jumped into the kettle. They're going to fine him for that. But like Josh was saying, a reporter says, you're going to be fined for that. And this kid, what's his name, Chase Brown, he says, really? And I love this part of the story. He says, like a big fine? He's a rookie. He says he's not making that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it wasn't worth it. He said, I don't make enough money for that crap.
Yeah.
That they've been doing that gimmick in Dallas with the big kettle. Okay, the Washington Commodores. I love the vibe they're putting out. They've likely never seen a day like they had yesterday. Both kickers on their roster missed practice for the same reason, and the reason is their wives were given birth.
Oh, my gosh.
And I bet my cousin is the father of both those babies. Both kickers missed practice because their wives were pushing out babies. Zane Gonzalez and Greg Joseph both skipped practice.
Former Viking Greg Joseph.
Yes.
Oh, and God help us, I'll remember him forever. Both kickers separately upped and got married within the past year, and this is their first babies for each of them.
Oh, my gosh, that's exciting.
The Commodores have used 4 kickers during the season so far. Whoa. So stay sharp because you could be next.
Wow.
You could be next.
That's a fun story, actually.
Yeah, they both had to go off to the hospital.
Yeah.
What are they?
At the same day, at the same time?
Same day, right around the same time.
Split an Uber.
What do they give you over there, Josh? Is it like in the movies? You need a bucket of hot water? When the baby's about ready to fly out? They give you...
the dads get a cigar, and then the ladies get a bucket of hot water.
Sounds like an even
because they got to boil the filth off the kid when he comes.
Yeah, they put him in a bathtub right away. You guys really dug this scene. Randy Shaver, give me an update on how you're doing with this. It says here, college football 25 has become the best-selling sports video game ever.
Yep. I believe it.
Are you still playing the game?
I am still playing the game.
How's
yes.
your team doing?
If I told you you'd go, that's unrealistic.
Oh, you got the Gophers, the national championship game, don't you?
They're undefeated.
Well, that's how we'd all do it. I mean, who's gonna? We're not mad at you for that.
42 to they just beat Oregon 42-10 in the championship.
Yeah, 86-0.
Yeah, but it's the 2028 Gophers, so there's lots of
lots of draft picks in that class.
I heard that's a big class.
In 8th grade right now.
You do what everybody does, at least at first. You load up your team, you win the whole schmear, like 5-6 years in a row. Yeah,
I don't. Yeah,
Coach Randy Shavers bringing the Gophers to another title.
That's right.
Good for you. Good for you, and good for the Golden
It's fun
Gophers.
though, right, Waffle?
Oh, it's
Great
a blast. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
We got to get out of here real quick. I'm sorry to bother you with this because I didn't want to read it either. I'm sorry, but Conor McGregor posted on social.
Oh God.
Feel ya.
You lost Randy.
Conor McGregor posted on social media that he's agreed to box the YouTube kid Logan Paul in an exhibition gimmick match in India in the year 20 and 25.
Oh, can't wait.
All right, I'm kind of down for this because I want to watch him get his lights knocked out.
Which
Which
one?
one?
Ashley,
I
no
don't
one's
Paul.
getting their lights knocked out.
I don't care
No
who
one's
falls.
getting their lights knocked out. People said the same thing. Tyson and the YouTube kid, I can't wait to see someone get hit in the... No one's going to get hit anywhere.
Is it going to be back on Netflix? Because then no one might be able to see it either.
Don't care.
In India, how do you settle on going to India?
I don't know, Brad Ryder. They should be having that fight in Baudette up there at the resort.
There'd be more people interested in it up here.
That is so weird.
Conor McGregor and the YouTube kid, please leave us alone. Just leave us alone.
Who am I kidding? I'd probably watch.
Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. By damn, there's one more F-off day tomorrow, and then we're all done. I hope you feel better, Brad.
Yeah, I do too. I'll be fine.
Oh, all right. I'll do my best. It's going to be all right. I'll see you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, dude, that makes me sick.
I'm going to go have myself a hot dog. So long, suckers.
All right, see ya.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Back when I needed money, a lot of money, there were things that I did during my I need money years. One was really stupid. I didn't pay any attention to my expense line. I just thought if I keep making more money, life will get better. And that is a total lie. If you never keep track of the bottom line, no matter how much money I made, I spent that and more.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I would just mess that up.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
They just eat because they eat everything. Anything in their path, they'll eat, including each other.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Back here on the Half-Assed Morning Show, it's 8:28. Welcoming our guest in studio this morning, Dr. Andrea Johnston from German Animal Hospital in Minnetonka, who brought us Christmas gifts.
So nice of you. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, Dr. Andrea.
Yeah, thank you.
You brought us some nice gifts for our pets.
I can't believe you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know you guys love those dental chews, so the furback rep was super nice and dropped some off for me yesterday.
All of our pets are going to have beautiful breath in the
Finally.
My dogs love them. They just go nuts.
That's awesome.
And also, thank you for braving the roads and the weather.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you on the way back.
Yeah.
You may regret this.
Yeah.
Text 651-989-9393 if you have a question or comment on your beloved pet. Although I'll tell you, you already broke the text machine from when we brought it up 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Our text machine is cooked by the number of responses we get when you swing by the studio. Nice work. We'll see.
Way to go.
Appreciate that. Now our computers are all... No, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's start with a question here, Dr. Andrea. It sounds like maybe someone in our listening audience made a bet or something, because the question goes like this. Which of the two, dogs or cats, have the better sense of smell, better sight, better hearing, or are they so different it's not fair to compare?
Different species, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would say cats by far. I mean,
all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, they're predators, right? I
Right.
mean, they just have that natural prey instinct that I would say cats.
Cats are better again.
They've been winning out lately, haven't they?
Oh, boy.
Better
They
do have a good record
It's
lately.
not even a competition.
all the way across the board. I mean, that's impressive. Good job. Good job, Gabe. That's
How about
my
this?
cat.
If someone's going to break into your house, what's better, dog or cat? This predator cat you've been referring
It depends on the dog, honestly.
It might
Some
depend on
dogs
what
might
kind
run
of
away.
cat.
Yeah, that too. You guys will laugh. We had our holiday party yesterday at work, and a gift. We did like a white elephant, and the gift I got was a calendar of cat balls.
Oh, you know what? Is it
awesome.
Japanese?
No, it's all pictures of cats that are still intact.
Yes.
And it's just the back of their.
Yes.
It's hysterical.
We had talked in the stupid news not too long ago about it. It's like a big thing in Japan, supposedly. These cat ball calendars.
That's why it was familiar to
Yeah.
me. And we looked up some of these calendars.
And they're crazy popular.
And some of these cats they're blessed.
Yes,
They
well
are.
endowed.
They are blessed. My God, walk proud. Walk proud, Keedy.
Nail Gun Jesus wants to know about the rabies vaccine. Are they really necessary for a strictly indoor cat? He does not go outside. And he mentions he even lives on the 3rd floor. So
There's no chance that cat's getting outside unless it wants to be a cat stunt performer.
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and unfortunately, it's the rabies regulations are based on the city versus actually the state. But if by chance someone came to visit, walked in the door, and you stepped on the cat's foot, or the cat got scared and bit that person, the amount of red tape you have to go through because that cat wasn't vaccinated for rabies, you have to quarantine, you have to report it, you have to isolate. Just get your cat vaccinated. It's just so much easier, and you don't have to go through all those hoops.
I never would have thought of that angle.
Is it true that in order to find out if an animal has rabies, don't they have to be dead to do that?
Yeah. So they actually have to have their brain tested. So you have to bring it down to the University of Minnesota.
So might as well just get your cat that rabies shot and don't worry about some nightmare coming down.
Yeah, it's just worth doing it for sure.
yeah, that's good. I never would have considered that.
Yeah. We've had those scenarios.
Here is a text that came in discussing some kind of a doggy disease, or maybe it applies to all animals. I wouldn't know. I didn't go to school. Cushing's.
Yeah.
Okay, you've heard of it.
One of my favorites.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a reason other than Cushing's? Is it called Cushing's disease?
Yeah.
Okay.
The medical term is hyperadrenocorticolism. So
Okay.
it's a problem with the adrenal glands.
Is there any other reason than Cushing's for why my 9-year-old pit mix could be losing muscle? If it is Cushing's, is there a way to prevent or reverse muscle loss?
It's most likely the Cushing's, because Cushingoid dogs actually make too much internal steroid, and steroids long-term cause muscle atrophy. So there's treatment for Cushing's. It's daily treatment long-term. I'd make sure your dog is on treatment, but I would also make sure that it's the appropriate dose. A lot of times you have to do multiple lab work to make sure that it's the appropriate dose. But it's most likely the Cushing's disease.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, but it's treatable.
Okay.
And I mean, they feel better.
They do.
Yeah, they drink, like a lot of dogs will come in because they are ravenous, their hair coat looks bad, they're drinking a ton of water, urinating all over the house, or urinating more often. And you can treat it.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah. It's a fun one.
Fun Size Shiza said she has 2 very itchy golden retrievers. There's only so many scratches you can give. Is there anything I can give them at home, over the counter, or should I just get them the shot from the vet? Is there a shot for that?
Yeah, there's a monoclonal antibody called Cytopoint that you can give every 8 to 12 weeks, sometimes even 6 weeks, that helps stop like the itch receptors. I'd make sure your dogs are on monthly prevention just in case there's a flea issue. But honestly, we're seeing so many allergies right now. So bad. Maybe with the snow, we won't see it.
The cold?
Today.
Oh, hopefully.
The cold dummies that down, right? The snow and the cold?
Like the freeze and the snow cover, all that.
Here's a guy, Moto Psycho Jesus. His dog just had most of her teeth pulled. Only 7 left. I got an uncle like that. Just had most of her teeth pulled. Only 7 left. After she heals, would you recommend she still eat her hard kibble, or should Moto Psycho Jesus just straight up switch to soft food?
You know, if you want to keep those remaining 7 teeth, I'd still do hard kibble.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I have dogs that have 0 teeth and they still eat hard food.
That's my mom's dog. And I think she makes it, she puts like a little bit of water to make it a little bit softer.
Works. Okay.
But yeah, and it blows my mind because, she has no teeth.
Yep. I mean, cattle don't have upper teeth. They just have lower, and they eat all that straw.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can feed hard food. I probably would to keep those 7 teeth healthy.
Okay.
There's another hard food question. This person says our new kittens are spoiled on wet food. Is it bad for them to switch to dry food?
I would make sure a component of that diet is dry. For the teeth purpose, that grinding mechanism of actually chewing that kibble will break up that tartar and calculus. And it's also a pain in the to actually give them multiple cans of food a day and put it in the fridge. It's just easier to get them on dry food.
Yeah.
A little bit of wet's fine.
There you go. There you go. We're talking with Dr. Andrea Johnston from German Animal Hospital in Minnetonka, taking questions about your pet. 651-989-9393. Now, this one's very interesting to me because I've never heard of this breed of dog. This is Carver County Public Works Jesus. He has an 11-year-old, I'm going to try my best, Catahoula leopard dog?
Yeah. That's the kind of dog I have.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're the state dog of Louisiana. They can climb up trees.
Yeah.
Well,
really?
Why?
Yeah.
They like hunt that way, right?
Yes, they have a really high prey drive. My dog, if he sees like a squirrel or a rabbit out in the yard and he's inside, he'll start like physically shaking because of how bad he wants to go get it.
Well, damn,
Yeah,
are they exotic looking? Because the name leads me to believe that they're exotic looking.
They have really pretty coloring.
Yeah, they do. They have a pretty hair coat. Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Do you
new
have a
one.
picture, Ashley?
Yeah,
Yes, I
show
do.
us.
That was a silly question.
Probably has dozens of them, yeah. Okay, 11-year-old Catahoula leopard dog.
Mm-hmm.
He can't maintain weight. All blood work looks good. Also, the dog urinates in her kennel during the day, but not at night while we sleep. Do you have any ideas? Can't maintain weight, whizzing in her kennel.
Well, the peeing in the kennel sounds behavioral. She might be angry that they're gone and putting her in the kennel. So if you could find a way to distract her while she's in there during the day, or working with a behaviorist to help her get rid of that anxiety, sure.
Didn't we talk about dog TV?
Yeah, dog TV.
Oh, yeah, turn on. We show our dog TV when we leave the house. Okay, Ashley, you have a picture of this?
Yes.
Let me see this.
His
dog.
name is Bruin, not like the hockey team, like the gun. To be clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Important distinction.
It's a good-looking dog.
They are really pretty.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's
a cute dog.
You're moving so quickly over there. Do they have very small ears, or is it just tucked back in the photo?
His are tucked back a little.
Okay.
He's
But they're
thinking.
they're tinier ears.
Yeah, they are smaller than labs.
Does your boyfriend or someone in the family hunt with this dog?
It was actually a rescue dog. He got it from Louisiana or somewhere in that area after some hurricanes.
Because you mentioned it's, how did you put it? It's very...
high prey drive.
High prey drive. All right, that's
they're cool dogs.
Good-looking dog.
Mm-hmm. The weight. I didn't answer the weight question.
Oh, sorry.
Lab work doesn't show everything. So I would make sure that dog get in and get checked out for some other things, maybe some x-rays, an abdominal ultrasound. You start to worry about kind of big, bad and ugly things when the dog's 11 and losing weight.
Oh,
so
really? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, just like people, lab work doesn't show certain things that, other things can. So I would get the dog in for other things.
Josh, you're a good-looking dog. DAWG, I think they spell it.
Yeah, and my mom is a high prey drive. She's very religious. Only Ham's Jesus has a 7-year-old Shepsky that's never allowed her to cut his nails. They're getting long. It seems to be bothering him. Tried various methods. Nothing works. Any advice on things I can try without bringing him to the vet?
Yeah, sedatives. But you can take home sedatives to use. I mean, I will use anything from trazodone to gabapentin, sometimes in combination with Xanax. So, I mean, you really have to get that dog to be completely out to touch those feet. So, and you go at really high doses. So I would call your vet and ask if they could prescribe something you could use at home to see if that helps.
How are your chickens doing?
They're cold.
Are they cold, chickens?
They're good. They're good, yeah.
How many chickens do you have again?
Well, we had 15. Now we have 14. Cheryl Anderson disappeared.
Cheryl Anderson.
Yeah. My kids named her Cheryl Anderson.
That is hilarious.
Is it after like a television personality?
She had like that puffy head. You know, they have the little feathers on their head, and they named her Cheryl Anderson.
That's hilarious.
Can you remember any of the other current chickens' names?
We have Barb, Poppy. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I think we have a couple like male names like Steve but they're all female.
Oh, Steve the chicken.
That's great. I don't mind that when people give their pets full names.
I love it.
I like it too.
My sister had a cat for a number of years named Donald Vernon.
I remember Donald Vernon.
Yeah, big fat. He was named after one of my dad's best friends, Donald Vernon. Back to cats now, real quick. And this isn't so much a question, Dr. Andrea, but it is a comment, and we welcome those too. A listener says, my cat is an incredible athlete. I like the way that begins. He can jump off any surface from any height, turn himself sideways in midair, and land squarely every time. I'd put him up against Simone Biles any day.
Wow.
They are fun to watch.
They are. They're pretty impressive.
When they
Those
decide...
YouTube videos you see of the acrobatic cats are awesome.
Yeah. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, the one I've got is a little older. He doesn't get too crazy. But, every once in a while, I can't believe what he can accomplish. It is. Why turn on the television when you can watch your cat cut loose once in a while?
We're getting a lot of texts on hot spots. What do you do with the hot spots?
Usually that's allergy related. So you got to treat the allergy. A lot of times it's due to like heavy moisture, swimming. Golden retrievers get them all the time. But you got to have them come into the vet, clip the hair, use a topical spray or steroid, and usually put them on oral antibiotics and allergy meds. But we see hot spots, especially in the summer.
Okay.
And they stink.
Gosh,
Oh,
yeah,
do they really?
Oh my God, they smell
so bad.
I've never had a dog that had.
Yeah, we
Did
had
cats get them too? Or is that
Yeah,
a
but
dog
for different reasons, typically. They don't usually get it, like the moist dermatitis like dogs do.
Best girl in the whole world had trouble with hot spots.
Did they reek? That you remember?
Yeah.
You kind of get used to the smell, actually.
Going nose blind?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of feet.
Yeah, because it's like there's a lot of yeast in there too.
Yeah, it smelled like dirty, like your high school buddy's athlete's foot.
I just have the thing. I have my dog. One of them has the Fritos thing you talked about.
Love that.
Where his paws smell like Fritos.
Love it.
What do you know about tree frogs?
Not much.
Okay.
I do have 2 frogs at home, but they're African dwarf frogs. But I don't know anything about tree frogs.
Okay, because this guy says his tree frog. His tree frog will not open one of his eyes. Or is there anywhere I can take him? Who would look at my frog? This listener wants to know.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he has one of those we learn about in vet school, retained spectacle or like a retained eyelid. They like shed their corneas, and sometimes you have to like take off that lid or that cornea layer that's stuck.
Wow.
There is an exotic vet in Oakdale.
Okay.
AERC affiliated emergency referral center.
I imagine we don't have many. I don't see there being a need to have like one in every city.
This guy's hauling around a one-eyed tree frog.
That's so cool.
From town to town.
He could try. I don't know how we'd let him handle him, but he could try taking a little Q-tip and like trying to get off that retained lens.
You ever have a frog, Josh?
No, never once.
You got a turtle?
We got a turtle named Dude. Yeah.
He hates that. Josh hates that turtle.
I shouldn't say I hate him, but there are some regrets.
You did try to give him away.
Stuff.
Yeah, I have many, many times. Raw food for dogs. Your thoughts?
Oh.
Nope.
No.
I will tell you, there's not many veterinarians that recommend it just because it's a high risk public health wise, because you're handling raw food, higher risk of salmonella and Clostridium and E. coli. That there are plenty of foods out there, freeze dried, things like that are better than raw food.
I've seen those are getting really popular, like those subscriptions you can order, almost like, you can do a meal subscription for humans. Yeah, you can do that for dogs now. And they send them full meals.
Don't even get me started on that. The raw food. Now, the story about when my ex-girlfriend gave my dogs, gave them raw food without my permission. She was taking care of this dog for the weekend, and she just had this idea that, well, I'll feed this dog the healthiest stuff. Had no idea about the theory of, keeping your pet on a regular diet, or they go sick as a. She gave him this raw food, and he just turned into a diarrhea super soaker. And she sends me pictures while I'm ice fishing or something. Like, what did you do to my dog, for God's sake? And she texts in, well, your dog is so sick, oh my God. I said, well, what happened? Well, I decided to give him this, this, and this. I said, he's never had that in his life. Of course he's spraying diarrhea.
Bad tummy.
Terrible things happen there.
We've evolutionized dogs over time that they don't have that innate they're not wolves, right? So their GI tract can't handle that stuff.
Oh my God, you should have. I wish I would have saved the pictures. It was
that bad?
Horrific.
Crime scene.
It was like you don't need to hear anymore. We got to take a
real quick. Just something to think about over break. I'm not 100% sure this is a vet question or not, so I figured we'd pose it to you and you can tell us when we get back. Uncle Bitch Jesus wants to know, or I'm sorry, not wants to know. He simply said that he's going to give my mom a one-eyed tree frog.
Oh, no.
It's so terrible. This close to Christmas.
It's disrespectful.
It's horrible.
I mentioned how religious she was just a second ago.
What are we, a week away from Christmas?
Yeah, coming up pretty quick.
We got to take a break.
Less than a week.
More with Dr. Andrea. If you can get your question in, again, we're 651-989-9393. If you want to get your pet question in, we'll give it another shot here when we come back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
You may look like a bum, but you got a lot of talent.
On 93X.
Got another round of questions coming up here for our guest this morning who braved the terrible roads and weather to come see us and chit-chat with our listening audience. Dr. Andrea Johnston from Gurman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. We got another round of questions from our listeners to you, Andrea, about their house pets. 651-989-9393 is the number. We're going to start this round talking about a kitten with gas.
Oh, no.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I guess I never. Dogs are known for it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, when they jump up on the couch and one slips out. Gosh.
My dog's a burper. He burps all the time.
That's funny.
This is
He's
a
big
listener.
drinker, though.
Yeah, he is, yeah. We get him good and loaded.
A kitten with gas. He eats dry food and some cat treats, but nothing out of the ordinary. Is this common? Is there something going on?
I would check a fecal sample. Giardia is really common. That can cause them to have a lot of gas. Make sure that panel is negative. Roundworms, hookworms, all those parasites that kittens can get in utero or just in, from their litter mates.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would check a poop sample first.
Oh, no.
And if it's negative, then I would consider diet.
The owner's sample or the cat's?
Yeah.
It's hard to check both.
Let's check them both side by side. Well, poor Keaty, he doesn't feel very good. His stomach kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Another cat question. A Bengal cat. Purebred.
Pretty.
Yeah?
So pretty.
I'm going to have to look that up. Bengal cat.
This doesn't sound good. Pooping outside the litter box, loose stools, sometimes a little bit of blood. It appears the cat can't hold it to make it to the litter box.
Yeah. I mean, we see that often. It's cats, just like people, can get IBS or inflammatory bowel disease. They could have a food allergen. So I would, first of all, rule out a parasite, get that poop sample checked out. But you might need to try different food, like novel protein the cat's never had before. Or steroids sometimes will work too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bengal cat, they're very pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have really pretty
I just
paintings.
looked it up.
See, Nick?
I will tell you,
Excellent
they are our
markings.
favorite to see at the vet because they are so nice.
Well, damn.
Are they really?
They look like a killer cheetah.
Yeah.
They're not nice.
No,
Keaty.
they are. Well, I shouldn't generalize, but they can be pretty nasty.
They've taken a few pieces out of you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Wolfpack Softball Jesus has an 11-year-old female boxer slowly losing control of her back leg, sometimes even drags them. What can I do? He said.
Yeah, boxers can get something called degenerative myelopathy, German Shepherds too, or lumbosacral disease. and it's nerve related. There's really not much you can do about it. You can test for it. UC Davis has a cheek swab test you can order. I think it's like $30 or $40, and you send in the saliva, and they'll tell you if it's positive for degenerative myelopathy. But it's a genetic thing, unfortunately. There's really not much besides supporting the dog, making sure it can get up and move around. Carpets in the house.
Maybe
runners.
like one of those wheelchairs like your dog had, Nick?
Oh, sure. Those are, they're useful. They're useful.
So cute, too.
Yeah, it was cute for a while there. Yeah, I mean, watching a dog on wheels, hell yeah. How many puppies have you delivered in your career, Dr. Andrea?
A handful.
Yeah,
a couple litters. We don't do a ton of puppies or breeding, but yeah, a handful. C-sections.
That's what this listener wanted to know about C-sections for dogs.
Yeah.
I never pictured such a thing.
Yeah. Especially like French bulldogs, they have those like wide heads that they just can't get through the birth canal.
That's exactly what the guy brings up, an English bulldog.
Yep.
Big fat heads.
They can't get through the pelvic
Oh
canal.
my God, I bet that's... Oh, Ashley's going to cry.
Most of them have planned C-sections.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just because they've got the block head.
They can't get through.
God dang.
Crazy.
Isn't it?
That is something.
This text says, my 4-year-old golden retriever has a marble-sized ball in his back hip. Doesn't seem to bother him. It's not grown since we noticed it. Is it worth a vet visit?
Yes.
It
Yeah,
is.
I would get it sampled. I'd get it checked out, make sure it's nothing concerning. Also, if the dog's been vaccinated there recently, sometimes they can get a little inflammatory reaction. But golden retrievers are kind of the poster dog for certain types of cancers that I'd get it checked out.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard that before.
Dr. Andrea mentioned earlier that you just lost a chicken, and the chicken's name was...
Cheryl Anderson.
Cheryl Anderson. A listener would like us to know that he has a rat terrier named Aloysius Lashinsky.
That's great.
My husband had a coworker, and his dog's name was Lester Holt from the
What is
Today
that?
Show. Like the
Oh, my damn.
That's
Lester Holt.
Named after a character from the Today Show.
This person's dog has a continuous dirty ear, constantly shaking her head, sounding as if there's some fluid buildup. Are there over-the-counter treatments? 6-year-old black lab mix, if that makes a difference to you.
Yeah, I'd get the I'd make sure it's not allergies. Once again, allergies can cause ear infections, but sometimes there's resistant bacteria in there. You might need to get the ear cultured. But no, there's nothing over the counter.
I'm going to need your help here in a big way
Mm-hmm.
with this next text message from a listener. I have a question about their dog. I'm just going to begin. There's no way I can say this word. I'm going to begin the word, and I bet it won't take you long to complete it for me. How can I help my dog who has hyperurticaria?
Maybe spell it.
Hyperurticaria?
I was wrong. Say it again.
Hyperurticaria?
They spell it. Well, it's hyper.
Okay.
Urticaria.
URI.
UricosUria.
Oh, like uric acid in the urine.
I'll have to take your word for it.
So, is it a Dalmatian?
7-month-old staffy mix, whatever that means. Oh, and here we go. And she has had 2 UTIs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so they are, usually that's a disease in Dalmatians. There's a treatment called allopurinol you can use for it, but usually it's diet related. You got to switch up the diet too, but they tend to be uric stone formers. So check that bladder on x-ray or ultrasound to make sure there's not any stones forming.
The bladder. Now, we know that, if we humans want to get a UTI, we just go to St. Cloud State for the week. How does a dog get a UTI?
Same way, outside to in. So bacteria, usually fecal bacteria, climbs up into the bladder.
Oh, no.
Mhm. Yeah, E. coli. It's a fun one.
Oh, no.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dog ate a whole gingerbread house last night.
Ooh, one of our dogs ate 4.
Oh.
Unless they teamed up, I don't know.
Whoa, dude.
Recently?
Yeah, just a week or 2 ago.
Oh, boy.
You built gingerbread houses like you do?
Yeah, little ones.
Yeah, the tiny.
Yeah, the tiny
And
ones.
they ate them up. You weren't looking for a minute, they ate them up.
Well, when we were gone, and it's got to be the new one because the one we've had for a while, he's not a counter surfer.
Okay.
And so, unless he just became one, I'm assuming it's the new dog.
Here's a listener who says, my dog ate a whole gingerbread house last night. We made him puke it up about an hour after he ate it. Is he going to be okay? This is my friggin' wife's prized 70-pound golden retriever, he says. Can't have this thing dying on us. Not this close to the holidays, he
It'll
said.
be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably some diarrhea, but they're like steel stomachs. They'll
Yeah. It can handle any damn
be
thing.
fine. Really can.
We are out of time, but we thank you so much again for
course.
driving in this terrible weather. Thank you for the Christmas presents. Very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very cool of you.
And
Thank
on
you.
behalf of our pets, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be geeked.
And we hope you and your family and your chickens and everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Andrea.
Take care.
Want to shout out Mike's Barber Shop in Foley this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to new listener Wyatt Gotta Be Me Jesus for joining the Brotherhood. And thanks to the Sisterhood member Happy Cappy Sheezus for letting us know about the new listener. Got some great news from Back Dimple Sheezus, doing well after having some cancer removed. Happy birthday to Sarah from your hot hubby Keystone Light Jesus. Drive safe. Thanks to the plow folks, garbage folks, everyone working outdoors for us, and see you tomorrow.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.